because it's all connected. Asia, Europe and Asia. And the elder Malcolm always goes into that. That Europe is really Asia.
Yeah, they call it Asia, isn't it?
It's all really one
Asia Minor, Asia Major.
big landmass.
Yeah.
But America's not connected now. Esau tried to lie and invent this thing called the Ice Age and something called the Bering Strait. And they lied and said that the natives went over to the New World from China through the Bering Strait, which that's not the account that the natives give.
No.
The natives said they migrated north across the Mississippi. Now, you ain't gonna migrate north across the Mississippi if you came from that way in the first place.
You made your way up.
You made your way up. Then you get the Inuit people, which is God as well. They migrated up. So no, they didn't come across in no Stone Age 20,000 years ago. That's all lies. They were over there for about 2,000 years by the time Esau got there.
Yep. Settled.
And that's why they had great civilization, great pyramid-like type structures, man. You know, that because them things will take some short time to make. That was a long time to build them things, man. You know, they were there a long time. Verse 41 says this: but they took this counsel among themselves, the Israelites, or the 10 tribes, that they would lead the multitude of the heathen.
Right, because all the different peoples were living in that landmass, which is Asia, Africa, whatever you want to call it. They were living in that region. There was no one over there in the Americas at that time. That land was virgin land, so to speak, untouched.
Yep.
But they
Now you had people that might have gone over there, took resources and come back, but there was no established people over there.
No.
Going on.
And that was 3,000 years in history because King Solomon sent naval teams, the Zidonians and all that over there to the Americas, the Olmecs and all that, left relics,
to bring back
resources, exotic resources and that.
Yep.
So no one lived over there. It was a nomad's land, basically.
They didn't go over there and kill no one for that land,
No one, man.
like you did.
Yeah.
So that they would lead the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt.
Where never mankind dwelt. So they are the indigenous people, Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matty. Little Matty boy. Go on.
And it says, that they might keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land, because it's been interfered by the
So
heathen.
they went over there to keep the law, which they didn't keep, and that's why the devil came upon them.
Yep. All right. You want to do more?
No, that's it on that. Okay. So it says. So it says why exactly should the Europeans have stayed out of that fray? Well, you should have stayed out. Oh, I didn't even. I missed a bit. So the indigenous came here and killed each other over the land for centuries. So what he's alluding to is there was infighting between Gad, the different Gad tribes. There was infighting between Issachar, right? Which that's true. We're not going to say that's not true. Okay. So he's using it as a justification. He said the indigenous came here and killed each other over the land for centuries. Why exactly should the Europeans have stayed out of that fray?
Because you don't want blood.
Well,
Wow.
well, hold on.
Obviously you want
I
blood,
thought
innit?
they were Christian though. Doesn't the scripture say to love thy neighbor as thyself?
Sure, you're right.
So what he's saying is because the natives were killing each other, why shouldn't we go and kill them too?
This is the answer to wipe them out.
But
So
love,
it's peaceful.
But
love
you're
workers no ill.
Christians.
Yeah.
Yeah, Esau always needs some
Excuse.
kind of way out, justification, worm way out, you know.
It's a,
But
they
they,
just
but
say John,
they forget the morals they
3:16
set for
said-
themselves. They forget the morals they set for themselves.
Yeah, John 3:16
No, that's-
says God
that's
so
right.
loved the world that he gave his only begotten son.
But I thought
They
love
were
worketh
supposed
no
to be
ill to his
Christians
neighbor.
that came from England to the Americas.
Yeah.
I'm confused, Matt. Matt, I thought that you guys were Christians and you had good Christian morals and values. So why are you on the internet justifying the killing of another people based upon, oh, they had beef with each other, so why shouldn't we jump into the beef as well?
Clean that down.
That's that devil spirit. coming
That's
out
that
of
devil
you.
spirit.
That's
How-
what that is.
so if I see two men over there fighting over a piece of bread, I'm just gonna just go over there and just fuck it. Like, let me jump in for the bread too.
Take man's phone while I'm at it, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, that's the same mindset they take with Jake from the go to Africa, saying, "Oh, them tribes were having wars anyway, so it was fine to just have them in slavery."
Well, look, this is Romans 22:28. Remove not the ancient landmark which thy fathers have set.
Proverbs, brother.
Oh, what did I say?
Romans.
Damn, man.
Yeah, you had them demons Romans on
Yeah,
your mind.
What's that plebs? What's that plebs?
Yeah, I was in Romans. Yeah. That's great. I was reading the Proverbs 22:28. Remove not. That's trip. Remove not the ancient landmark which thy fathers have set. And that's what they did, man. There was no justification to go over there and do anything. Matter of fact, it's against the scriptures.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just
They're no
whatever
business.
internal disputes or the internal wickedness that's going on, that's actually not to do with you.
None of your business.
That's not justification to go and rape, grab, murder.
That's the
take someone's land.
That's the shit. Same shit they're doing today.
Right.
BB and them.
Because so now even they're all on that, and all these devils in England and all that. Oh well, slavery. They're always trying to get a way out. Oh, it wasn't us, or
Yeah, they say we ended slavery.
We ended it. Well, that's then they've got new ones now.
Just like you ended the war, right?
Because
Like
of
people
immigrants
locked.
and all that. It's all BS, man. Now they're trying to say, oh well, they're getting information. Well, you guys, you enslave each other. That's old arguments, man.
But so what? What's that got
That's
to do?
old. That's arguments.
That didn't make you right for doing it.
Isn't it? Justified.
Yeah.
More
So
than that.
y'all are gonna pay for what y'all did, man. No, that's it.
So he went on to say, what moral or legal right did the Stone Age people, he keep calling, they're not
the
people,
Stone-
they're Stone Age people.
Barbarians, Stone
know?
Age.
He says, what moral or legal right did Stone Age people have to possess an entire hemisphere of the earth,
Who are you to decide that?
even as they slaughtered and tortured each other over the same
That's got
territory?
nothing to do, you don't.
So there you go, and this is the right
Took
wing.
the oil, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we should have took
the
the
oil. Just go there and take it.
And then he got so triggered, the full demon came out where he said, Matt Walsh said, he then tweeted, because he was going full demon, man. Let me see if I can find it.
Fucking demons, man.
I gotta go back and listen to this whole.
Matt washed.
Isn't it? Matt, wash your mouth.
He says, yes, this country was born through colonization and conquest, and I am very proud of that fact.
Wow.
So basically what you're seeing now is all these right-wing Edomites are bringing the Edomite consciousness back to that old Andrew Sharpknife imperial mindset of we're not going to apologize, we're not sorry for nothing, what we did was right, you're just a bunch of savages, and that's that. That's the spirit that they're pushing now. These same Christians, remember these are Christians, and they're fully justifying the colonization and the conquering and the slaughtering of the Native American Indians, man, and the subjugation of the so-called Negroes.
Yeah, and if I could say as well, it's just like at Drake, they're trying to say they were warring, but okay, so if you were the Europeans at that time, how many wars were you lot having?
Yes,
During
should
that
someone
same-
have come and just killed you?
Exactly.
But that's not in the scriptures, though. This is the point. So then when you see these guys like Vocab Malone trying to debate us coming from that Edomite Christian point of view, just know it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit because these men don't have no morals that they stand on. Because if they had morals, when they went over there, they would have just traded. And they would have bought land righteously. And if man didn't want to sell the land, you just leave. But they didn't do that. They went over there with a covetous spirit and built themselves up. And now in 2024, they're just unapologetic about it.
And what I said, they came with a sword, right, to take, right? But that's Esau's blessing. Who's blessed with the sword, right? That's how he gets things. He was given an allotted land that was his, right? He has no business outside of his allotted land. And what these men are doing over here, over there has nothing to do with him. Nothing at all, right? When the Israelites got into our land, we didn't care what he was doing in your own lands. We wasn't kind of, we trying to take land off you. We weren't trying to do that.
Yeah, that's why you got that Gaza Palestine thing going on right now. That's none of their land.
That's it.
That's our land, man. You know what I'm saying? They don't belong to none of us. None of y'all who want to talk about this. That's our land. Y'all gonna find that out. This is in Proverbs 21:1. Be not thou envious against evil men, neither desire to be with them, for their heart studieth destruction, and their lips talk of mischief. Like that's what they do. The experts, their blessing was the sword, so they're experts in rape, robbing, murdering, destroying, confusion, all of that, sneaky, all that. They're the experts in death. You know what I'm saying? And that's right now they're still doing the same thing all over the planet. The warmongering, all this World War III talk is because of them, ain't because of us. We ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? All this talk of these nukes and World War III, what that got to do with us? Y'all are the warmongers, man. You want to talk about Jade's killing Jakes? Yeah, fine. They're wicked ass niggas. Cool. But what about you? You guys, man. You guys right now about to start nuking planet Earth and destroying planet Earth.
I guess that's more civilized, isn't it?
How crazy is that? How crazy is that, man? They can say that, but these motherfuckers are getting ready to nuke planet Earth itself, but they want to talk about some black wars or some, some tribal demonic disputes of ignorance. What about your ignorance? Your ignorance is going to cause planet Earth. Right.
But they're admitting that they built their civilization on block wars. That's what he just admitted. He said the niggas was fighting over the land. So we just came and we just killed them and took it. Why shouldn't we have got involved?
It's fair game,
So it's just, they're so backward and so. On one hand, they try to hold that moral high ground, but on the other hand, they're just admitting that you don't have no moral high ground. That when it comes to it, at the end of the day, you're just the gangster.
You saw opportunity. You saw opportunity and took it.
Admiral spirit of demons comes back, that's what they really are. And that's going on in the UK with this GB News.
The Reform Party and
all that kind of stuff. And they was, they're all on that.
And another thing to remember, don't forget that you had the hand in all this division as well. I'm not saying they weren't divided and there's people between them before that, but you played a hand in the further division that came later. With the divide and conquer, man. You did that.
Yeah, they utilized it. Basically, they did the same thing that Caesar did in Gaul. When Caesar went into Gaul, they utilized the same tactic that Caesar did. He saw that, well, this tribe don't like this tribe, so we're going to go to this tribe and we'll say, okay, if you help us take down this tribe, then once we've taken down that tribe, we'll split it up between us. And then that's what they did. That's what divide and conquer is. And then so by the time you've done that, then they turn around and they're going to mess you up as well. And that's what they did with there was tribes that were like, oh, we don't like them man over there, so we're going to side with Esau. But then they found out that Esau weren't with them.
Can't be trusted.
But, okay, that's fine. But how does that justify Esau, though? That's what I want to know. In that situation,
that makes you even more
how does that make you right?
That makes you even more the devil, man.
Then they'll say,
they put that in Geronimo.
Yeah, Geronimo.
We always talk about it.
Warriors tribes.
Geronimo said to the other sellout cat, because he sided with Esau the whole time. His ass ended up in the concentration camp, in the
selling
truck,
out.
getting ready to go. And Geronimo said to his ass, he said, listen, man, one of his boys, because he always got them hitters right next to him and shit. I don't remember his name. Say his name.
Probably Tonto or some shit like that.
Right, so, and he just said, like, that's all he said. He's just looking at him, the dude didn't want to look.
He fucked everything up, man. Trusting Esau fucked everything up.
Yeah. Never trust thine enemy, man.
That's right.
Certainly not by
Let me go back to this, because it says, through wisdom is, it says, for their heart studies destruction. Esau's heart studies destruction. The development of these weapons, these missiles.
Wickedness in his bed.
No, this is a
Right,
big gap.
these different weapons of mass destruction that he created. You know what I'm saying? Tanks, all of this shit.
Well, you had to create machine guns to take out God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's just on violence, maximum. Yeah.
So for their heart, study of destruction, man, and their lips talk of mischief, and we all know that. They say you got a forked tongue.
Yeah.
You know, that's what
yeah.
Dad was saying about the cats. The slippery serpent ass tongue, man, in that mouth.
Yeah. As I say, you start getting involved so much to take the land, man. You have to develop your weapons just to get the land. You know what I mean? More violence, more bloodshed.
Poking out of the lips.
You want
They're going to pay, you see, because now I'm glad that these right wingers, right, are bringing that spirit to the forefront, and it's making our job easier.
Yeah.
Because now we can show exactly how they have always been, and these are the Christian ones. Never forget that Matt Walsh represents the Bible Belt. He represents the guy that's banging the Bible the hardest.
Yeah.
Them are the mans that's running around thumping the Bible the hardest, and he's like, yeah, we should have killed them niggas, man. Them niggas was Stone Age. That's basically what he's saying. So then our job is easier. When we tell you that he's a devil, and we tell you that the time of Jacob trouble is coming, and that the same devil that did all those things is going to do it again, now you should believe. Because Matt Walsh is showing you that he is Andrew Jackson.
Yep.
Him and his people are, it's Andrew Jackson, oh, that was 200 years ago. No, Andrew Jackson is here today.
Yep.
It's the same devils with the same spirit, same justifications, same, they're low IQ. They're just animals. They're just beasts. They're just savage. They're just violent. They just find different words to say the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's right now they're in this pretty much because of they're in a situation where they already conquered Jake and they were just chilling. So that's why nothing like, but they're like dormant devils. Do you know what I'm saying? Given his right circumstances, things that are popping up, you know, the real them comes out. And that's why I never trust thine enemy. Because it's the same devil, man. He'll lynch your ass. You thought it was good. Oh, Craig, I thought, you know what I mean? Craig, you know what right? But as we're seeing, like all this stuff happening geopolitically, the borders, they're losing the plot. They're going to talking about slavery. But that wasn't even, you know, really, you guys. They're crashing out.
They're crashing out.
They're blaming us for everything. All you know, it's always us. Everything that's going wrong in Britain is us.
Set them free. You know.
But that's it. Cause someone else will get the time of Jacob trouble, man.
I got some
that's
real
these
quick.
devils are really gonna come. They're really gonna come upon Jake, man, and they're building it.
Oh, you got
and
something?
the more that these voices are made, Matt Walsh is mainstream. Matt Walsh is big in that right wing category. He's a celebrity. He's big, and if he can come out and say that, remember before you get cancelled for some shit like this.
Yeah.
Well, now that cancelling shit's gone out the window. This is how the people feel. This is the majority. What they call the silent majority is happy now because they're like, finally, someone's saying what we all been thinking. Fuck George Floyd. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck these dudes, man. We ain't gotta accept them. We ain't gotta pander to them.
Yep.
Yeah, the Karens and the men, they're all crashing out.
The Karens, like I remember 20.
Get them out of the football.
Bro, a bitch done that to me the other day, bro. In my own estate, like area, I'm standing on the pavement, bro. The bitch asked me, "Do I need help?" I'm like, "Bro, what do you mean? Do I need help?" So like she's walking her dog. It's like, I said, "Look, take your racist ass down the street. Don't talk to me, bro."
In the USA, so we want to know what the UK is like. It's full of Karens. It's full of Karens, man. This ain't what you think.
Trying to do that passive shit,
They
bro.
don't want Jake in that football team.
Right,
They hate that they hate that the football team is full of Jake and mixed race Jake. And it's even full of mixed race Jake that look white. Like Cole Palmer. They're like, oh fuck. We thought we had one there. You know what I mean? Man's cartel's cousin or something. Palmer.
That's why when you sit down, if you ever sit down and you're drunk, you go like, you're alright. You're always saying that.
What does that mean?
Right?
So you're one of the good ones. I'm like,
Oh, fucking ate your guts.
That's crazy, man. This is probably, I'm going to finish this. This is Proverbs 24:3. I mean, that ain't happened recently because, you know, I ain't really talking to these motherfuckers.
They're saying that anyway.
You know,
Yeah, and this brother knows because he goes everywhere, man.
yeah.
He knows what these devils are like all over the country.
Yeah, I'll be rolling up in their towns, just me and shit, and I'll roll up in that pub. You know what I'm saying? I'll roll right up in that motherfucking pub, man, and have a drink. My motherfucking towns, you got white jakes, you know, you got a lot of white jakes and shit like that.
Yeah, no more.
You know, all that, but, you know. Right. Proverbs 24:3. Through wisdom is an house building, and by understanding is it established. That's the right way to build a house and build it all right.
Through righteousness. And you didn't do it. You didn't do Matty. Matty,
where was the
America
righteousness?
wasn't built on righteousness, man. That is not how a righteous kingdom is established. The Most High wasn't with you on the right hand side.
I got more on this, bro. And it says, and by knowledge shall the chambers be filled with all precious and pleasant riches. So, you know, the wisdom leads to a kingdom. You know, our kingdom's going to be built the right way. Esau's kingdom weren't built the right way. It's built off his demonic death and destruction spirit. All this chemtrails, all these health issues and all that, and him not pushing the herbology and all that. That's him. You did that. You're still doing it, man. You take that. There ain't no way out of this. Everybody knows you did it, nigga.
Bro, they even got hotline numbers for like young cancer patients now. Before it used to be for like elderly people. Like now it's got young hotline cancer patients for young teenagers. Like advertising. Like,
Yeah, but they advanced civilization, huh?
yeah.
With the poison in the air, poison in the water, with plastics and shit.
And supposedly they cure cancer, but everyone's still getting it.
Plastics, fucking all the uranium, all the nuclear explosive materials and shit. You know what I mean? Everything. Teflon pans, you know what I mean? Like, just people getting sick and getting this cancer because you're in charge.
Don't worry, he gonna have a vaccine for that.
Yeah.
He gonna fix it.
They're more worried about the Tesla factories and all that.
It's crazy
Yeah,
because further on down, I mean, it says this is the next, I'll read the next two. A wise man is strong, yea, a man of knowledge increases strength. For by wise counsel thou shalt make thy war. So there's actually there's a right way, and a righteous way. To, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the Lord is supposed to be, if you build a kingdom, like for instance, when we came out of Egypt, a great example is, the Lord didn't just say, take. The Lord didn't tell us, see them Moabites, anyone you come across, just take their land. If you actually read the account of us coming out of Egypt, even though the other nations were scared, the Lord told us specifically, see these Moabites here, don't touch none of their land. See the Ammonites, don't touch none of their land. Your land is specifically the land of Canaan that I promise you. Because the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof.
And the Lord had a judgment against the Canaanites.
Yeah, because it was cursed.
And the Edomites too. Remember when we said, listen man, we'll just take the King's Road through your land. We won't touch nothing. Anything we take, we'll pay for it. That's what we did, Esau. And then you said, no, you can't come through the land. And we said, all right, cool, we'll go around them. That's how a civilized people operate. No, you weren't civilized, man. You were the devil. You just went and took and stole and killed and murdered and raped to get what you want. This is the reality. And if you build your kingdom on wickedness,
it comes down.
Yeah, it doesn't stand.
Deuteronomy 19:14. Thou shalt not remove thy neighbor's landmark, which they of old time have set in thine inheritance, which thou shalt inherit in the land that the Lord Jehovah thy God.
So what if they're Stone Age? What if there's some ragtag Stone Age tribes? You could do it, right?
Hey, you meant to have pity upon them.
But pity for what?
No, but like, if they're doing so well, no, but if they're doing so well, right? We're doing so good, and you're looking at the man that could be better. They didn't go there with the mind to help them.
By Stone Age, what they're trying to say is that their tools were only of stone. But if but obsidian and that is fucking it's hella sharp. Like, what's the problem? I don't see what the issue was. The issue was that you just wanted their land, Esau, and you took it for yourself because the Lord allowed you to do that.
Yeah.
That wicked demonic spirit, you went over there and you did what you had to do, masquerading as a Christian, and now you don't have to pay for it.
But just on that Christian part, they'll say it's manifest destiny.
Yeah, that's another thing. They justify it.
That's why they
said it's
justify it.
manifest destiny. They even went as far as saying that America is Canaan and called themselves the Israelites.
Yeah.
And they said so they treated the God like they were Canaanites.
That's the Monroe doctrine.
Yeah.
The Monroe.
That was
Dr.
after.
Monroe, Dr. Monroe.
The Monroe, you're talking about how they dealt with the America specifically, how they dealt with dealing with the
nations.
South American nation. I'm talking about before that. On the manifest destination, when they went there, they said this land is the land of Canaan, and where the Israelites and America is the promised land.
Yeah.
So these men were always twisted up in the mind because the Most High never told you all that. You just made all that up.
Yeah. And then the biggest story behind it all is that all of that was financed by the small hats, man. Like, the Spanish conquistadors, majority of them were all small hats, like your guy Cristobal Colon. He was actual
which
small
that
hat.
ain't gonna get you out of the other Edomites out
No,
of the book. 'Cause you know
no
what?
way.
Them small hats are Edomites.
Yeah.
They're just your heads.
That's it.
So even that ain't gonna get you off the hook. Because that's what the next thing they'll try and do. Well, it weren't us. It was no.
Guess what? The British went over there. The French went down there. The Spanish went down there.
They're
You
all
went down
Edomites.
there.
Everyone was up
Take a bit of land.
You're all Edomites.
Bargain sale, bro. Everyone was in it.
Amalek is a tribe of Esau.
Yeah.
Let's not try and pull a fast one. Now. That's what they'll try and do.
Micah 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hands.
Yeah, Matt Salaki, Matt, colonization and conquering of the Americas was evil, Matt. Matt, it was evil.
It's
You
unjust.
can't
unjust.
justify that.
Matt, it was evil, Matt. What are you doing, Matty? It was evil. You're just talking about it like it was just... Matt, it's evil.
He sailed across the Atlantic Ocean to put people into captivity, bro.
You killed it.
But you did it in the name of so-called peace. Like,
And he said he's proud of it. He said, I am proud of it.
Yeah.
I am proud that we did it. And that's that spirit that Trump has brought back. Yeah, we're proud. You know, yeah, man, we
Proud
killed
of
them. Yeah, that we're proud of it. And I'll do it again. That's the spirit they're in. And they are going to do it again. The time of Jacob's trouble.
Blair said that. Verse 2.
Where's vocab, man? I want to act vocab. Where's vocab, man? Vocab, you need to talk to your boy Matt. Because Matt is pushing genocide. He's
not being very Christian.
He's not being very Christian, is he, man? But vocab ain't going to say nothing. And Matt reaches a lot more people than we do. Matt Walsh he's a lot more popular in America.
He's a bigger threat than we are.
He's pushing genocide and colonization.
Yeah. We fear. We fear for our lives.
Verse 2. And they cover fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage.
Yeah. The tribe of Reuben and Canada too.
Yeah.
It's not, we're not going to leave Canada too. The Canadians are wicked too. They stole the land from Gad.
yeah.
The Canadian devils. They
French,
stole the
the
land
French,
from Gad.
French,
Yeah.
French.
The French too. Yeah.
Who was that? The
Fucking all of them.
Mexico,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Spain, and
All
the
that
Portugal.
shit.
Oh,
You
yeah, yeah.
stole.
In Canada. Yeah.
You went over there and you stole and you used all kind of excuses. Oh, they're savages. Or they're ungodly. Bare excuses you came out, and then you became ungodly. You were being ungodly when you were doing that. You were meant to just supposed to hand out Bibles.
Yeah.
That's what you was meant to be doing since you so Christian. You should have went over there, taught man the gospel, and did some trade. You didn't do that. You decided you wanted to subjugate and colonize and conquer.
Well, bro, didn't the scalping came from the French, innit?
Yeah, they started that.
They started that, and
Yeah,
then
they started
the
that.
Gad actually returned the favor.
Retaliating.
That's why. Then they say Gad did it and all that. No, it was them who were doing it. They were scalping them, and then even putting prices on their heads for fucking for coins and all that. And then they returned the favor.
Yeah.
But then history says Gad started it.
Yeah, but that's
No,
why
it
they
was
all,
the French, motherfucker. That's some Edomite shit.
Yeah,
Cutting
because
the
if you
limbs
look
off.
up the Bury My Heart and the Wounded Knee, that massacre,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's what.
The reason they did that massacre to those people was because they lost the battle to Gad a year earlier.
Yeah,
But what was the battle all about? The battle was because they were trying to take Gad's land.
yeah.
And Gad won the battle.
So
And
what,
then-
so what the fuck was you doing
and then
in
they
the first
came and
place?
massacred
Oh, because
them.
they went to get involved with the beef. Right.
Well,
Waiting for
even
them
American history is
men to
alive
be out.
because even most of the wars America really lost was all to really the tribes. Most of the wars America lost was to the tribes, but obviously the Lord had to have the tribes get taken over. But they were really getting killed really.
That's
when
why
it-
the prophecy was that that she would overcome Gad. But
Yeah.
Gad will overcome at the last.
Yeah.
You know, so it had to be that the tribes went down.
That
Hey,
to go
what
down.
happened to live by the sword, die by the sword? That's what the Lord said, right?
The Esau got embarrassed a lot of times in America. The Midwest, the South, the Eastern, the nations. They were really killing a lot of Edomites in them battles, man. The Midwest
Rightfully so.
places. But then obviously over time they had to lose.
Yeah, and every time
Prophecy.
they lose, they would use that and become the victim.
Yeah.
This is what Esau does. Every time he always has to play the victim to then justify, okay, we got to do more killing.
Coming and massacring you basically.
When you're not the victim.
You're like October 7th.
The Lord had to give them a whole bunch
Yeah.
of weapons to take down Gad, man.
Yeah,
Lost
just
this one doing the thing.
like October 7th. We made an excuse
Yeah.
to go and massacre with them.
They
Yeah,
took that to,
September 11th.
September 11th.
no, we don't want none of them.
Same
in the land.
doctrine.
This is Ecclesiasticus 15 and the 20th verse. He have
Yeah.
commanded no man to do wickedly, neither have he given any man license to sin.
So there's no justification for what you devils did. Even though you're trying to justify yourselves now, according to the scriptures, there's no justification. So there has to be a recompense for what you devils have done.
That's right.
That's right.
And there will be a recompense. And I'm glad, listen, Matt, I'm glad you came out and you're just saying it like how it is. Honest. You're being an honest devil, in a way. because it's good for us. It's good for us because we can highlight this thing, and I'm gonna go over your little 12-minute video where you were going in hard, and we're gonna do more responses. I'll put it in the group. Brothers do responses for these devils, man. And let's see if Vocab Malone is gonna do a response to Matt Walsh and all this evil that he's pushing into the earth.
Well, you know one thing remember Vocab, remember months back, years back, remember one of the things he didn't like what we was teaching was reincarnation. Because now if it's reincarnation, you gotta pay for what you did. So they don't want to deal with that.
No.
That's biblical, bro. The scriptures talk about you know, the reincarnation.
Reap what you
the
sow.
back
Right.
again.
That's right.
But bro, think about every single Jake in this world is at the bottom of this planet. Why? Because they're born again in the system that their oppressors set up, man. So that ain't by coincidence. Shouldn't some of us just be born rich then? No, we're born because you fucking fucked the motherfuckers up back, our people up back then.
It's a legacy.
So we're born again in your world.
That's right.
So you're born again on top, and you're going to be born in the next world to go down.
That's right.
That's right.
That's it. That's how the Lord does it. People don't understand judgment.
That's right. Quick one. Amos chapter 1 verse 11. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Edom and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever.
We're talking about hundreds of years. It's not something that happened like in one event. It's hundreds of years, man, systematically just breaking people down, man.
And if you want to go further back to Greece, you know, Antiochus and them, they hang an infants, man. It's the same spirits, man. That's why it's just justified for them to be destroyed, and that land goes to Judah. You know, because since you want to spend time taking the land by violence, right? You're going to be exterminated, and the land's going to go to Judah. It's fitted.
So the thing is, you're never going to hold yourself accountable. It says that. You're never going to hold yourself accountable. So someone else has to hold you accountable. Power, right? It's our power that's going to hold you accountable, man. Yahweh.
That's right.
You know, and this is what we're saying. We ain't going to do nothing. This is not our, we ain't got the power to do nothing. That's why you can check that shit, because there's nothing we can do. But Yahweh is coming, man. For real, he's coming. And when he comes, it's over for you guys.
That's right.
You know?
Scripture. Ezekiel 25 and 12. Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh power, because that Edom have dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and have greatly offended and revenged him.
Was you in the right to take vengeance against Judah? No. No, you was not. What, you don't make touch the apple with the Most High's eye. You know? So you had no place in doing that. The Most High had you do it anyway, so he hit you. You know? Go on up.
It says, and revenge himself upon them.
Revenge himself. He wasn't ordained. He wasn't like, you know, righteous, you know, sanctification. It weren't. You know? Go on.
Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh power, I will also stretch out mine hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman.
The America, which you love so much, is going to be destroyed. You know, all these American ideals and shit, all these hypocritical ideals you have, it's going to be destroyed right along with America. You know? Yep.
And they of Dedan shall fall by the sword, and I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel.
Right.
And
because we're nothing but tools at the end of the day. Right? But we haven't got the power to do that right now. So we have to wait for the Lord to return to give us that power to be able to get justice. Right? To get that recompense, to bring vengeance against you, which is a righteous vengeance. You know?
And we don't have to worry about remembering, because the Heavenly Father remembers everything for us. He said he requires that which is past.
And we ain't got to worry about recompense. We ain't got to worry about recompense. What we would have done is righteous, it's just, because we're reading it. Right? So there ain't going to be no comebacks after this. We're the ones getting justice. No one needs to get justice upon us. You know? Because now we're going to put it to bed.
Yes.
Beef, us and the Hebrews, going to get put to bed.
That's right.
You know?
Yep.
Oh, you still going?
No, it's all right. You got it.
No, I was gonna. No, you still going?
Yeah, I got a little bit. But
Yeah, go on.
all right. So it says, and they shall do in Edom according to mine anger, and according to my fury.
The Lord's fury, right? Like I said, yeah, we're pissed. Yeah, we want to get back on you. But homie, it's the Most High's program. He's going to get his get back. You know?
Yeah.
And they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord Yahweh.
Yeah, we didn't write this. You know, we didn't make this up.
Right.
This is the Most High's word we're reading. It's the Most High's plans and His will that's being done.
Yeah.
Right? We're just on board.
Yeah.
You know, we are one. That's the scripture say. We are one. We believe it. Yeah. Do you want to read us first?
The book of Ezekiel 45 and verse 5. Because thou hast had the perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel.
And it's showing it's perpetual because it hasn't stopped. That's why it's coming back out now. We're just hidden. And we've always known that. We've always known that he was hiding the shit.
Bro, just
faking
go
the
on
funk.
Twitter, man. All you gotta do is go
You
on
know?
Twitter.
Yeah,
These
yeah,
devils
yeah.
are on there. Wilding. From the UK to America to France, just anything Jake
suspects.
does, you just usual suspects.
I hate that shit. You already know. You see it. I'm like,
Fucking blackies, man.
Elon just
These man, these
opened the
EDL
tap
man.
because it was always there, but now it's like they got
Hard.
liberty to just to get away. They say it, they're not getting banned. They're like, oh.
They're all got them truths.
It's going to say, because thou art the perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity.
Right, what does it mean by the time of their calamities? Yeah, we accept to see oh yeah, but the tribes, they were killing each other. Or no, listen. It's accepted that we weren't right. We can accept that. We're not here to romanticize our people like we were like the hobbits from fucking from Lord of the Rings, man. Just innocent, and then man just came and no. Jake be wicked, man. Jake be doing wickedness. That's the reason why you were able to overcome us. Because if we were perfect in the sight of the Lord, you wouldn't have been able to touch us.
New covenant.
It was through the curses why you were able to overcome us, through our own iniquity. That is true. But that doesn't justify you.
It doesn't absolve you.
It doesn't absolve you of what your role is in it.
On. Yeah.
So saying, oh yeah, but the tribes, they were... Okay.
Why was you in?
But what did you do? The Bible says thou shouldest not have.
Open down. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him. We're gonna get him. We're gonna get
You
him.
should have stayed out of it.
You should have never.
Oh, thou shouldest not have.
You should have never came back.
Yeah, but that's like in-house. If a nation dealing with in-house problems, what's it to do with you? So that's what they like.
Because he weren't doing it in righteousness.
Yeah, no,
he just saw an opportunity for his own evil.
Yeah.
Esau weren't thinking to himself, oh, these people are doing wickedness. I'm going to judge them righteously. No, he just wanted some land and then he saw an opportunity. Man.
But even that devil Columbus in his writings, what did he say? He said, these people make great slaves. They're basically pretty much peaceful.
Conspiring.
Talking about, like, you know, he was talking dealing with Ephraim and that and Hispaniola. He had his writings. And there were a lot of them writings, man. There was some real demonic shit.
Yeah, there was no righteousness. No justice.
Yeah, they will
They
make
celebrate
great
Christopher
slaves.
Columbus.
Yeah.
And you know they're going to probably celebrate a big Christopher Columbus celebration this year. Now, you know, they're going to go
next
all
year.
out with it.
Next year, because they've got the celebration of 250
Yeah,
years
that's the semi-quintessential.
of the American conquering America.
When is that?
In
2026.
2026.
They might not
special
make
day.
it to 20.
Yeah.
Abaratazar, man.
Amaratazar, they don't
But
make
you know
it.
they're going to make it a big thing if they do
Yeah,
it.
that's going to be the new.
Because they're in the unapologetic.
That'll be the like
what's it called
the.
again?
That'll be like the new Independence Day, innit?
Well, they call it
That's
soft
true.
girl era.
That's
This
true.
is- This is the
That's
unapologetic
true.
era.
That'll be
And
like
you know
a
these
new
devils,
Independence.
they always, Italians try to claim him.
Yes.
English people, I've even heard English
Everyone
people try
except
to
the Jews.
He's an Amalekite, man.
Yeah.
So, what's his name?
Well, they could
Small
claim
He's a
him.
Spanish mob. The
They
Spanish.
could claim him because they're all Edomites. That's good.
Yeah,
Claim
that's
him.
true. They're all.
Because
That's
now
true.
you get judged with it.
But even in his own writing, man, he talks about the tribes being peaceful and, you know, basically how they can conquer them with few men and stuff like that. Which was
there
the
was-
Lord allowing that anyway, man.
There
That's Psalm
was peaceful
65.
ones.
Psalm
But
55, they were
was-
peaceful.
There was
Yeah,
niggas killing
they came
niggas
with
too.
war.
Yeah, wars in his
Murder,
heart.
they were sinning.
They were still going off. They were worshipping idols and that stuff.
But that doesn't justify what they did, because as I'm going to show in Jeremiah 25, that's always been Jake. Every people that came against Jake was doing wrong. That never justified them. The Lord mashed them up afterwards.
They were always revenged upon.
So you're fucked. Anyway, and then I'll get this Jeremiah.
In the time that their iniquity at an end, therefore, as I live, says the Lord, power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and the blood shall pursue thee, since thou not hated blood.
Didn't hate blood. That's why he went to go in the beef, right? take the land because you're going to shed a lot of blood to get that land.
What, 3,000 square miles? That's what they shed a lot of blood to get that 3,000 square miles. To go
Because
from
we weren't few.
No.
We weren't few over there.
to go from New York to LA, yeah, that's a lot of land. That's a lot of conquering that has to be done.
Man, man.
3 different time zones. Bro.
3 different time zones. There, how the West was won, and there's a whole movie genre, spaghetti western that the Italians created, that goes into that. With John Wayne,
Yeah.
you know, them man just,
John Wayne.
just shooting down Indians, man.
Cowboys and Indians.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Woody in it, Woody.
Yes.
Yes.
No, I was gonna say that's why it's fitting that the book 100 Years of Lynching. The cover's got Babylon just in blood, man.
Yeah, yeah.
The scripture says the blood cannot be cleansed except the blood of him that
And it's the blood of man, woman, and child, man. They were killing a lot of times. What they would do is they would go into the village while the Braves were away and dishearten them, kill the men, women, and child, and the old people. So when the Braves come back and they see all all their children, and they would just bug out. They were like, "Oh man, I ain't got nothing else to fight for."
But they weren't children, they're potential terrorists. You know what I mean?
They were them Stone Age children.
That guy was like the original Django.
Yeah, the original Django, yeah. First UK marshal.
They would mutilate the bodies, take the vaginas of the women with them as trophies.
Sounds like a savage to me.
It's not an animal, but
It's detestable, man. But if I can always say, it's like, but Esau in this day and age likes to hold himself as the champion of women and children, man. Right?
Yeah, but-
What?
I'm sorry, Luke.
You got it, bro.
No, you got it. Sorry.
No, but as the Bob was going earlier on, when you look into like Greece, Antiochus and them, they were doing the same thing, right? But once again, still to this day, he'll come. Oh, we've got to protect the women, we've got to protect the children. No, you're the devil, man.
Well, that's that same thing with that Pocahontas story.
Yeah.
That fucking girl they took from the Americas,
Natives.
brought her to England and all that. She was an underage
It's a slave,
woman.
basically.
They just basically was raping her.
Yeah.
She was basically what they called a.
They didn't tell the story.
They didn't tell the story.
No.
But when you watch Disney, she's just beautiful.
They're calling them savages. And all
She's,
that. They're calling them
even in the
savages.
Disney movie, the men wanted to kill Esau
Yeah.
in the Disney film. But then she was like this beautiful woman that just wanted to bring peace between the tribes and Esau. No, she was an underage, so-called underage woman that you brought to
Tried
Europe
to
and raped.
prostitute her now, yeah.
You prostituted her, man.
That's crazy.
That's what you did. That's the fucking truth, man.
Yeah, that's the real
The
story.
John
of
Smith
Pocahontas.
and all them characters, the
Yeah.
British sailors.
But you see, that's what it means about what we was
What's this
talking about
fucking
earlier
doing,
is the truth. Esau can't handle the truth, man, because they have to believe in this fairy tale version of themselves. They have to sanitize it so a certain but guy, you know that
Even
white
fucking
looking Arab dude,
Anastasia.
and he was talking about how
the
Americans
Tsars
don't
and
even
Tsar
know their own
Nicholas.
history,
Oh,
man.
yeah,
They,
yeah,
because
Still
they don't.
running.
If they had to face it, man,
Bolshevik
these are devils, man. They're real devils.
All them Disney
They're
cartoons.
monsters, man. It's you.
I was just mentioning even that Tsar Nicholas, the Anastasia cartoon, the Disney one, where the Bolshevik revolution against Tsar Nicholas's family.
Okay, yeah. The
They,
bullshit.
they did a Disney cartoon about it, like to say it was some,
some good.
they stole his fucking inheritance, man, murdered his family.
Bloodthirsty, man. The Bolsheviks.
Stalin and all that.
They killed him, man.
Yeah, they murdered,
And
exiled his
took
family.
his
yeah.
gold.
Just him.
And his whole
His whole
There was a
family.
mass
Right.
genocide that happened, man.
Well, I think even Queen Vicky over here, once she interlinked with, interlinked with royals of Europe. She was like the Jake.
Queen Victoria, yeah.
No, yeah,
They were
Victoria
related.
was, yeah.
They were.
Victoria
I
was the
think she was,
last of them.
because there was one I've even seen with like a line of like black Russians, and they're like basically you see them, they're like mixed race looking Russians and that from that era, but it was getting killed off and that.
Yeah, the
there's
Bolsheviks
few
were-
lines left and that.
Yeah, man. the Tsar
Vicky was
Nicholas
one of them
Jakes,
last
man.
lineages.
Yeah.
They were killing all them European Jakes.
Yeah.
All right, let me get this. Jeremiah 25 and 9. It says, "Behold, I will send and take all the families of the north, save the Lord, and Nebuchadnezzar." Damn, how did I never notice that's how it's spelled? Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, my servant, and will bring him against this land, which is the Israelites, and against the inhabitants thereof, and against all these nations round about, and will utterly destroy them and make them an astonishment and an hissing and a perpetual desolation. Moreover, I will take from them the voice of mirth and the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom and the voice of the bride, the sound of the millstones and the light of the candle, and this whole land shall be a desolation and an astonishment, and these nations shall serve the king of Babylon 70 years. So this is the Lord saying, listen, I'm going to use the Babylonians to mess you up.
70 years.
But hold on.
But then,
Well, hold on.
but
And it shall come to pass when the 70 years are accomplished that I will punish the king of Babylon and that nation, saith the
The
Lord,
nation as well, right?
for their iniquity and the land of the Chaldeans, and I will make it perpetual desolation. So what's that telling you there? That the Babylonians weren't right. That even though the Lord used the Babylonians, even the book of Habakkuk is an extension of that. Because if you read Habakkuk 1, 2, and 3, it's talking about the Babylonians taking down Jacob. But obviously, when you're dealing with the Babylonians, it spiritually fast forwards to Babylon the Great and Esau today. And that's why we apply those scriptures, right? But it's the same thing. Esau, Edom is just like Babylon. You came against us because, we sinned. You can read it. Where it's like, you're committing idolatry, you're doing this, doing that. I'm going to send the worst of the heathen against you. That's in Ezekiel. I'm going to send upon you the worst of the heathen, which is you Edomites. But there's nowhere in it where it says that them man were righteous.
Yeah.
So they're gonna get away with it.
And even back then, when Babylon took us down, the scripture says in first Ezra that it was Esau that burned down the temple.
You
know, so
raise it.
So even with all different captivity, that nigga was still there. You know,
Plotting.
remember
Persian and Medes,
with the Persians.
Esther and all that.
Haman.
Yeah.
Then Greece, the Antiochus, then Rome. So even every temple that King had, the first temple was burnt by Esau.
Agent,
Second temple, fucking Antiochus Epiphanes, and even what was left of it, Rome.
Agent,
always had a
Now he's
fight
trying to
against
destroy
it,
the
man.
spiritual.
Agent Smith's always been there, bro.
That nigga's always been there, bro.
Agent Smith, bro.
You know what I mean? He's always been there, bro. He's standing behind other nations.
Agent Smith. Because even in the Matrix, they show you he comes back as a human. He comes back into the human form, and then tries to take Neo out inside of the ship, the Trinity. You know what I'm saying? So he's always, the enemy's always been there, man.
And Rome is the same spirit of Rome. They always uplift Rome as if it's some kind of peak of civilization. Like even there was a movie, I'm trying to remember, there was a movie where you had angels.
Not Legion.
Nah, not Legion. I'm trying to remember the film and who was in it. But I think Mark Wahlberg was in it.
Oh, you talking about when he was the cop?
Oh, what? Not Dogma.
Nah,
There
you
was
know
a
when he was
movie
the
where
cop.
there was angels and basically the angels correct timelines. And then there's
you're talking
Adjustment Bureau.
Oh, that's Matt Damon. Matt Damon.
The speech
Matt
that the
Damon.
angel
Matt Damon.
gave,
Yeah.
the angel says,
we brought you to the height of
we brought you to the height of
civilization,
civilization, then you gave us the
then
dark
we came
ages.
off the wheel, and then you gave us the dark ages. Then we brought it back, and we gave you the Renaissance.
That was
this
Matt Damon.
idea
Matt
of
Damon.
the Edomite civilization and how civilized they are and how superior they are morally. But it's all a lie. It's always been a lie.
Babylon was
They're
the head of
savage.
gold. Babylon was the head of gold. You know, in its splendor. This is a shithole.
Yeah, that's the we're at the feet of it.
This place is a shithole, man.
What's the
And it's
dirtiest
morally
part?
bankrupt. And that's the key thing. Fuck money. It's morally fucking bankrupt, man.
Yeah.
You are not what you telling everyone you are. You're not this wise old mage that's spreading righteousness throughout the earth. That's us. That's going to be the kingdom of heaven. Our kingdom is going to be what you claim to be. You claim to uplift people. You don't do that. You destroy people.
Bro, you know the best time this kingdom ever was when they were so-called, you know, upholding the so-called Bible and
Which
some
they
type
weren't
of,
even doing
they
that.
never was. But some type of morality was there based on basically they just stepped in our place.
Yeah,
That's
but
all they
even
did,
then,
man.
there was no morality. They killed the Native American Indians. They were taking man's wives. They take the slaves' wives. When was they moral? It was all an act. It's a lie. They never was spreading no form of morality. Give me the year.
Never.
There was no year. It was just all a fake front. Well, Andrew Jackson was a preacher, wasn't he?
The Indian killer.
The Indian killer.
Yeah, that's true.
Founding forefathers were
It's all a
slaves.
facade. They never.
All of it's self-righteousness.
It's so self-righteousness.
But there's basically Hollywood is taking up the reins of creating that narrative.
Yeah.
Oh, that with the new like kids coming around up, it's like what Disney stuff movies and what.
The witchcraft. Yeah.
Oh, the free. Well, and they still try and do it. Trump will get up there and act like you're like better than then everyone else is just evil, and you're there trying to, like, you know, marshal the world because these people are just bad. It's like, but no, you are the bad one more than anyone else. It's all a big lie. It's a hypocrisy.
Oh, this is Job chapter 20 verse 4. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment.
That's all you really have is success. You don't have morality. You never had morality. All you've had is success. You've been an evil bastard that won. That's it. And then you've used the fact that you won and to push success. Oh, we're the free world. Huh?
God's with it.
The American army is God's army. Huh? When did you fight for God? When did you fight for righteousness? Is that what you fight to establish in the earth? Righteousness. Because there'll be a batty man thing I see getting promoted throughout the earth through you. So when did you become the bastion of righteousness, the light that everyone needs to look to of how to operate in the world? How? When you lie and steal and cheat all the way throughout your history.
Gold, oil, and drugs, isn't it? The Illuminati think God, you know, gold, oil, and drugs. That's basically what they've been doing. It's true. Gold, oil, and drugs.
You always been satanic.
That's what they've been doing, fam.
The founding fathers and Freemasons.
They carved their men's faces into a mountain.
Yeah, that's demonic as hell, bro.
That's straight idol
We give God the glory.
Mount Rushmore. That's straight idol.
Mount Rushmore.
Second Corinthians 11:14. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light.
That's what's happened. These men have got this idea, like they've pushed this notion that they promote good, and it's the movies. The movies are, like, you know, 007 is saving the world. You know, the British are trying to save the world from the bad guys. It's all lies. That is not what MI6 does. MI5 they don't come to work. There's some evil in the world. We gotta stop it. No, they're the ones creating the evil.
They corrupt government.
It's like the CIA.
They corrupt government.
Yeah, the CIA
is like the go-to example.
Listen, the reason why the CIA.
Wickedness they do.
That's why the man got mad when Snowden, you know, pulled the plug on them, man, and Assange. The man got upset.
But ask yourself
They're
this,
watching
yeah?
us.
Why is everything they do have to be secret?
Yeah.
That's righteous.
If the work was righteousness, it would be in the light. The reason they're called secret agencies is because they can't let you know what they're doing because they're doing wickedness. It's no different to a gang. What do gangs do? Everything's behind closed doors and, well, these dumb niggas nowadays. But I'm saying, a gang, the reason why the gang is hiding what they're doing is because it's not right.
Big new, innit?
Oh yeah, I see that.
Blair, why do they have black
So
sites?
they take the gangs off the street.
Yeah. But through Marvel and DC,
60s.
the heroes, notice the heroes are never really going after America. They're defending America as if America's something that Superman should defend. It's this, I stand for the American way of righteousness and saving the children. No, what? What are we doing here?
That's why you need General Zod, man.
Yeah, that was right, man.
Send it in.
Just destroy them.
Hitting the reset.
2 Thessalonians 2, verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High or that is worshipped.
I wonder who that could be.
Bro, this guy's the fertilizer for sin. Like, any wickedness that flourishes, it's Esau's there. That's why when evil was multiplied is when he came into power. And now, this is the most wicked time that's ever existed. You know, this guy's the fertilizer for sin. For McDonald's, you know what I mean?
Oh no, it's Stormzy's that one.
Like, literally, almost
It's
everything
Stormzy,
they
man.
produce,
Yeah.
there's a scandal involved.
Yeah.
Like, this brother's always bringing out some crazy scandal these men doing with food.
Cornflakes is a perfect example. If you go and look at why cornflakes was made, it was made to like sterilize men and fucking stop people from having sex. Even
That's crazy.
And that was the whole approach from the jump.
like,
Like, he was like, we
Yo,
need a
that's-
way to stop.
that guy who invented cornflakes
Bro, that's
The Edomite devil.
was a bug out, bro. You know this guy that I can't even say the kind of stuff he used to put up his ass.
Some
He used to
Al-Azhar
pump
type
like,
shit.
yeah.
Pegasus. Pegasus.
What? You know what, man?
I just still reference it. I just still reference it. If you regret, I just still reference it for educational purposes.
Bro,
Remember though, Esau's food industries have to go through the Food and Drug Administration. They got to go through them masons that run through all of that.
Checks and
There you
balances.
go. Checks and balances. So they got to really run through all that and really create it to destroy you.
Yeah, but no, it's alright because
With the drink.
JFK
Yeah.
Jr. he gonna sort that out.
Oh yeah.
He
RFK.
gonna make America healthy again.
Yeah,
Right.
RFK.
No, that's all dumb, man. They finished that a long time ago.
The
needs
Real
scandals,
food was
the
finished a long
scandals are
time ago.
innumerable in every industry, just nothing but evil and wickedness.
Scandal after scandal, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
That was
That's
done a
why I
long
said.
time ago, bro.
I was saying, I was thinking about it. Look, there's a certain situation, right, where you just can't tell the truth because the truth destroys you.
Yeah.
You know, like you say, like you're in a relationship that's built on bare lies. Imagine you had a woman, right, and she might have done something, and if she tells the truth, you might forgive her because really it's not that deep. But let's say you find out that it's not her real name.
Yeah, that's a
She's
whole
not
different
from
story,
where she
bro.
says she was from.
Yeah, her family's not a family.
None of your kids are yours. None of your kids are yours.
Damn.
When she was meant to be looking after your mother and father, she actually poisoned them, and that's why they died. Imagine if she just told you like the truth, but the truth is just
Overwhelming.
it's over, right? It's over. But that's what America is. If an American president was to say, you know what, right? I'm gonna have a press conference tomorrow, and everything that's been happening, everything we've done, I'm just gonna tell the truth about it, bro. America would just.
Collapse overnight.
Some people would have a heart attack. Some people would have a psychotic break.
Well, didn't one of them
Because-
bankers? I'm sorry.
Because America is actually a lie that's too much. The truth actually destroys America. They can't tell you the truth.
Never.
Hate us.
That's why they hate us. Because they said what? When you watch the movies, right? They'll be saying that information is classified because why? It's a matter of national security.
Right. Yeah.
Meaning, if we were to
If
tell
it-
the people
what's
the
the-
truth,
yeah.
They'll
it
go
will
crazy
fuck the whole
overnight.
thing up.
Overnight. Well, who said there'll be a revolution overnight or something?
And that's why Trump ain't gonna tell you the truth.
Well,
because
Henry
the truth
Ford
destroys
was
America.
Henry Ford didn't fuck with Amalek. See, and when Henry Ford was producing these cars, he had a book called The International Jew, and he'd produce it, and it would be in the back of every Ford, and it was that book was exposing that exposed Amalek. They were even onto Henry Ford. Henry Ford could have been a Jake,
They
man.
took him out.
They took him out. Henry Ford would have that book, The International Jew, and it would expose what Amalek's doing on the planet.
Yeah, but
For real.
they don't want it. The truth is so dark.
It's
so
dark.
demonic here that the whole idea of America,
Yeah, it will collapse
the
overnight.
whole idea of America that people have in their mind,
Collapse
even as
overnight.
bad as some people think it is, the truth is a lot worse.
It's
It's
just gone.
in that same day, America would just go into flames. Everyone would be like, "Fuck this! This is crazy! I can't believe it! They've been poisoning everyone. They've been killing everything. This event was fake. That event was fake. That was all a lie." Your mind would just explode. You just fuck this, man.
Ignorance is bliss.
It really is.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah.
Trump is gonna go in there and he's gonna give us all the truth about Epstein and no, he's not, man.
He was there.
Bro, there was
never
all
tell you the truth.
it was all concentrating this week about the CIA and JFK's assassination.
What, you really think
They
they
didn't
were
even
gonna tell you the
he ain't
truth?
gonna tell you the truth about
They
JFK.
sacrificed that dude. They never gonna tell you the
They never
truth.
tell you
And
that.
notice whenever they have these things, like even with the Diddy thing, they never bring out no Satanism in it.
Nah.
They'll just always make it look like it was just getting freaky.
getting
They'll never give you the full truth.
No, hell no.
Because then now you'd have to wake up and think like, hold on, put two and two together. So all these men were demonic.
Yeah.
Oh shit, this place is run by Satanists. Now you have to start thinking, but these men are feeding my children. And now it's all get all messed up now.
And then you can take the Bible for real, never trust thy enemy. You can actually understand it. But we already know.
That's right.
Preset?
Imagine that. There's the industry of babies just missing abortion. They're just gone. Every day there
Stolen,
are
yeah.
babies that
Stolen.
people from schools,
Yeah.
like aside from abortion,
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
just actual youth.
Kidnaps,
in
yeah.
parks, it's gone. Esau got a goal, bro.
Yeah. Half of them ain't got no birth certificates.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they do that too. They,
Yeah.
they have because that the Finders poll exposed that.
Yeah.
They found a whole bunch of children in cages, and them children were not documented.
Yeah.
You know,
No
they were just
registration.
being in the
Transporters,
cage,
yeah.
And
Traffic.
the CIA was involved in that, and the reason it came out was because the guy that was first on the scene was an what they call it, ATF,
Alcohol, tobacco, firearms.
Yeah, he was an agent, so he had already written up a report. Then the FBI came in and took over it.
and redacted
But they
that
still
shit.
have that original report that showed that they interviewed the kids. That the CIA was involved in that, and it's called the Finders Code.
What even in the Metropolitan Police, when a case gets a bit higher, what they do is the person that's the young officer that's trying to find things out, they'll just don't worry, we'll deal with it. So now that shit gets swept under the rug. Now this cop that was like onto it, he thinks he might be trying to do a good thing. You know, there's levels to that, degrees of masonry. They just shut him down.
But John Stewart, John Wedger, he's the guy that comes out and breaks all that down. You know, and the truth of that can't come out. He'll destroy this place. All the pedophilia.
And that's the Metropolitan Police,
It's like that movie also, The Sound of Freedom, right? They all got mad when that came out. You know, and they were trying to give a reason why they were not, because it's not quite accurate and all this kind of business, right? But any light shit up on that stuff, man, it should be like, oh, that's good, it's good work. But they were getting kind of, down talks about it.
And then what really would break America is when they find out that it's all of them together. There ain't no good side. The only thing that's keeping America going is the idea that one side thinks the other guy. When they find out that all these men already been working together the whole time, they will destroy the whole thing. Shit.
That's what they're finding out over here as well. They thought labels are gonna come out. The money taps getting opened up.
And your
the benefits getting expended.
And your fault because you've been participating in all their rituals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Indirectly.
You've been doing it too. So
Labor's through. And then who's gonna come in after that? Probably reform. I think it's gonna be reform because they fit the bill.
Yeah, what they're trying to push towards, they fit well.
Go on, man.
So back in 2 Thessalonians 2, I'll continue from 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, but that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and a man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called.
This technology that you've got, you're replacing the Most High, you're replacing everything and trying to put yourself forward as the savior of mankind. You want to chip people's brains, you want to bring in robots. First of all, how are you going to have an earth where man don't work? We're meant to be working in the earth. You want to replace people. That's why your system's falling apart, because men are supposed to have jobs. Men are supposed to have something that they do that's fulfilling in life. You're not just meant to have robots doing everything. And then you don't even own anything anyway, so you don't benefit from none of the situation. Now they want to start with these V's. They want to give people V's for cancer, V's for this. When you create all these diseases, man, most of the reasons why people are getting it is because they are injecting people with cancer viruses. They've been doing that for years, even with the animals. That's why the animals in the UK and all that are bare sick, because they get the V's. And the V's gives them the diseases, and then you got to go pay the vets bare money, just to fix the damn animal, man. Esau, man, it's the devil, man. This whole situation, man, is just so messed up. It's messed up, man. The children are all bugged out through social media, but he's got a God complex, man.
Social media where it thingies on it multiplies, compounds on itself.
Compounded wickedness.
Because it's like with the youths, it's like bro, it's like our childhood was fucked, but it was like how much more so is it even now with further technologies, further wickedness.
Godless, man. And they knew it because they know how social media is specifically designed to mess up the psychology. And it's targeted because they know what will mess up the men. You know what messes up the man? Yeah. So when you go on that social media, the algorithm is constantly sexualizing you. Constantly. Like without fail, Instagram has destroyed a whole generation of young men. Because literally all they do, you go on Instagram and it's just and you're just gonna waste a good 45 minutes, man. I've done it, bro. Not 45 minutes. But it happens. No, but how many times have you gone on even YouTube and then you're looking for one thing and then you see a short with some booty, you're like, oh, okay. And then boom, another one. Ooh. And the next thing you know, for the next 5-10 minutes here, you're like, fuck, what the hell? Look, man, you have to click not interested on it. Get that shit out my feed. So they mess up guys with that, but then for the women, they target him with other things. And then the whole like button, the whole likes and all that, it's literally a trap for your mind. And even the way you're consuming information, the algorithm can warp your sense of reality of things.
Yeah.
If you consume so much of one particular thing, you think it's everything. When really in reality it's not. You could be on the internet and it makes London look like if you step out your front door you're gonna get stabbed.
and acid attacked.
Because you're just on this, he's just scrolling, it's the same thing over and over and over again. And it makes it even a bigger issue in your mind and it affects how you act. When if you just put the phone down, it's like, yeah, it's a problem, but it's not that deep. Come on.
Like everywhere. Like everywhere you go, you're just gonna any South American country, a cartel is just gonna strictly rob you and kill you. Come on, man. There's subsects to every society.
Yeah, but that's what social media does. It feeds you the same
narrative
bullshit, and it's almost like programming.
Of course,
Even if you're watching bare of the same things, like Pop the Balloon, that affects how you think about shaping your people and relationship when they don't even represent the majority. It's a small little fragment that's being beamed into your brain over and over and over and over again. So you think that's what every man acts like, or that's what everyone from that particular place is like. Everyone's like that because I've seen about 2,000 videos of the same thing over and over again. Bro, it's demonic, man. Social media, one of the worst things that ever happened.
Oh man.
You know, like for instance, like especially like with certain of those like passport bro vids, because you'll see certain, this is how like women in England are, but it'll be just like they'll be like Shoreditch, and it's like, no, that's just how they are in Shoreditch. Not like that's that you go Chelsea, you get a different passport. You're completely different person.
Wales,
exactly. Well,
different. Man's think if you go to South America, they're all prostitutes. Because they just like the gal just walking around. Is like, bro, that guy's in on a prostitute street.
Exactly.
That's why the gal are like.
Well, the actual public don't like that.
Yeah, they don't. On the comment boards, they do say like, why are you showing that image of our country like that?
They don't like it.
So that's what everyone sees, isn't it?
But you see that image, that social media shapes people's realities.
It does. It does.
It's part of that switch. It's a part of this witchcraft.
And it can make you commit suicide. All that stuff. Like, if you're into a certain thing, it'll bombard you with that thing, and it kind of programs you.
You're getting children, which is a spell. Young men, suicide themselves over AI. Partners on phones and shit, man. It's crazy. This was crazy, man.
There was what was it? There was a woman that got like, I think she divorced her husband and gave like a couple $100 grand to like the fake Tom. What was it? No. Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise like lying in the bed. He's like, oh, I'm dying. You need to send me money. And he was like, she divorced her husband, sent her all her life savings. Then afterwards found out it was
a bot.
Scam.
Yeah, but it's all by design because Silicon Valley is run by a bunch of witches and warlocks. And they use the technology to cast spells on people and to manipulate people's minds.
The book of Psalm 64, and it starts from 6. Start from 5. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privately. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search for both inward thought of every one of them, and the heart is deep.
Right. When Esau studied the human mind and the group mind, did he say, let me use this knowledge to create better human beings? No. Man just destroyed people. He created MTV. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's just crazy.
He's a demon.
Beavis and Butthead.
Right? They could have used that music, right? Remember, everything that you can use for evil could be used for good.
Bro,
music can be used to influence people in righteousness, just as easily as it can be used to influence people in wickedness.
Bro, if you watch too many episodes of that Beavis and Butthead, you start acting like them. That shit will make you brain dead, man. That and Jackass and all of that. It make you brain dead, bro.
That's the thing. It's like the YouTube
pranked and all that. It's stupid shit.
Like South and Jackass, all that kind of stuff.
Simpsons just on the border, like.
the major influencers, these streamers, man, the Kai Cenats and all these people.
Yeah, they're the modern day Beavis and Buttheads. Yeah, they're the modern day Beavis and Buttheads, man. They just do anything for clout and anything for money.
And all them.
KSI.
Crazy. Like KSI.
Yeah, we saw the trailer the other day. KSI got this big show on Netflix.
They all got these massive mansions.
And all they're doing is follies, bare folly, bro. But folly is setting great dignity.
Just bare folly.
Content, non-stop content.
Yeah.
And it's like all children. It's like you see the people watching. It's like between the ages of 8 and 12.
Yeah, for real.
Like all the young girls where they got their booty out and whatever. It's a bunch of 8 to 12-year-old girls watching them. Then the dudes like watching like Kai Cenat, these complete like
KSI is degenerate.
Speed
young
and that.
kids.
Yeah, Speed. That guy's a
You're not
demon.
meant to.
Speed
When we
demon.
were growing up, the reason why we weren't completely fucked in the head is because
Gets paid for
you
doing
had,
bare
like,
stupid
say like
shit.
you was watching a particular program you liked, yeah. You have to wait for that like Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah,
You have to wait for that specific to
Man
come
got
on the
their happy
TV,
stories.
or you take
Have to
it.
allow it as
You
well.
watched it, yeah. But then man would just have to go do something else. Now, like the reality of how a child grows up now is they can literally watch the same thing on repeat because it's on demand. So you got kids just watching the same thing in a loop. Like sometimes I gotta be to my daughter, I have to ban her. I say, listen, you can't watch that no more because you've been sitting there watching that same thing. I think you've seen every episode about 100 times. That's just like you can't.
Programming her brain, bro. It's programming her
Before,
mind.
we'd have to
Yeah,
actually.
it becomes a spell.
Hey bro, you know, before you'd watch a show, okay, you watch a show 10, 20 years back, but then you'd actually have to go and do stuff.
Yeah.
You have to go and actually be active, you know.
Yeah.
Now it's like, it's just, man, it's
Yeah.
crazy. They're just flooded with it.
You make sure you're in for that half hour to Dragon Ball Z, but he's back outside.
Kids don't even want to leave the yard no more, man.
They don't want to leave the house.
It's got all their tech, bro.
Every week you be talking about the Dragon Ball Z episode with your friends at school and all that.
Nah, the kids don't grow up like that no more. Now they have access to unlimited content
Bare
of the same
technology,
thing, so they
bro.
can just go through it over and over.
Yeah.
Or the Kai Cenat thing, it's just constant stream. It just so they could just sit in the content.
Fucking watching you sleep, all kinds of
Yeah, it don't stop, man. That
I remember
phenomenon.
these things even years back started with like shows like Big Brother and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Reality TV.
Yeah.
Where you watching other
Yeah, but they
people
want-
live.
Reality TV is demonic.
Man,
because it ain't reality.
well, it ain't reality, but now
they
you,
molded like all kinds of. The thing is, that's fed back into like general culture
Yeah,
yeah.
it has.
because it's like with
Especially the relationship ones.
Yeah.
Like the
Or
sex
Love
on
Island,
the-
Love Island, Love Island.
We're just on the point of the
was it Blind Date,
Plastic motherfuckers, man.
Netflix ones as
just on
well.
the point of the pop of that pop the balloon. You had that main guy, the plumber guy,
Yeah, I
and they
remember.
made a reality show. And he
Yeah,
went on
yeah,
that
yeah.
Zeus Network, and he said he come off of it, and basically 2 people that was on the show already been
They
murdered.
can be killed.
They've been
And
getting
I think
smoked.
he basically done a
He said-
disclaimer.
yeah, they said that there's
Oh,
people
Zeus
following
Network
me.
is demonic. They're
Yeah,
the
it
ones
said
that
there's
do that
demons.
baddie thing.
Yeah, the baddies.
Yeah.
He said there's like people been sacrificed on the show.
Yeah.
2 people already turned up dead after a month after that, and people are following him and saying that it's just people. Feels like people are following me.
He
like
put it out there. I
Yeah,
think
he
even
said
someone
they
he
do
knows-
sacrifices
yeah.
and all that. He
And you
said
know what
that.
the biggest joke of reality TV is?
Calm, bro,
It's
calm.
fake.
It's all
Reality
fake.
TV is scripted.
It's all manipulated. Yeah.
So the whole thing is a mental manipulation on people, so they think what they're watching is real, when it's actually
It's fake, man.
it's a lot of. That's why they have to sign an NDA.
Yeah.
Because it's not real. They change it to manipulate people's minds on how they approach like relationships and all these different things.
Yeah.
Like, was that one the other day where the guy flipping was watching his gal getting banged or something on the screen and that on the show, and then it came out that they were all part of a reality TV show before. It's all juiced.
It's all
man. It's
juiced
set
in.
up.
Yeah.
Precepts.
Nasty
This
work.
is Ecclesiastes 10 verse 5. There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an error which proceeded from the ruler. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place. I have seen servants upon horses, and princes walking as servants upon the earth.
So you got the wicked, the demonic people in positions of authority, and that's why the world is the way it is. You've got Esau Edom, who's the king of wickedness, and they have the authority to create these programs or to push whatever they want to push, and it's always wickedness.
Yes.
It's always negativity. It's always something
last
that
one.
at the end of the day is going to destroy the minds of the people. And this is why, if you look at the generation that's growing up now, they're so fucked in the head. You know?
This is Proverbs 22:6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it.
Oh, that's another thing. They're the ones that push this thing that you ain't. If you discipline your child, it's abuse.
Yeah. Which is witchcraft.
You know, so you got a whole bunch of Jake that took that now. So a whole bunch of Jake, you see them talking on the podcast. Yeah, because my parents, you know, they beat me, and that's abuse. When you look back at it, it was abuse. So I don't beat my child now. So now this generation of 14, 15-year-olds are fucking disrespectful beyond
degeneracy.
They're disrespectful. They're bullies.
That's the thing. It's like because
worse than ever.
You didn't do the lighter punishment, which is the beats. Yeah. Then it's gonna they get into the world. They might get.
Now they're in the car chase with the cops.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
And then Mark Carbon.
It ended up like Chris Carter.
They got no respect. Generally speaking, they literally have no respect, no manners, right? And then the thing is, you can't. Oh, it's just teenagers. No, you go to Japan, they don't act like that. You know what I mean? There's places in the world where teenagers are not seen like that. In the UK, these teenagers, as soon as school gets let out, these men are just running riot everywhere. They're running riot on the buses, they're running riot in the stores, they're running riot all just doing whatever they want, like just acting crazy. There's countries where you will not see that. Teenagers are in order. When they're not just bare disrespectful.
The Western Empire, bro. America, England, for real. America, England. We had that Mizzy guy. Remember that kid? He run off in the house and all that. Then the whole social.
Thrown in jail, well, arrested or whatever. I can't remember what happened.
Remember the whole social media followed him. That's that Western Empire shit, man.
He's an agent because he ended up on Pierce Morgan.
Yeah, how the fuck?
That's the place where all the agents come.
Hey, Esau set people up there. If you even hit children now, hit so-called children, man. You hit them, they can call the people on you. Basically, the lesser police, they can call the services.
So in the schools, they call it.
Imagine that.
Yeah, safeguarding. But meanwhile, in the schools, most kids are getting bullied. And the school's not really doing nothing. They can't do nothing about it. When you're a teacher now,
most kids are getting bullied. But then the joke thing is, you're saying if the adult hits the children for discipline, she's getting done.
Bro,
but you're letting the kids get picked on and all this.
Bro, if your child is getting bullied, you can't even approach the child that's bullying your kid. They call that a safeguarding issue. Right, but if the school's mad.
And you know what? If you told, if you told your kid, you know, the how sick as well. If you told your kid now, listen, hit them back or something.
No, they'll get done for that.
They get done for it. I'm just not promoting that.
Say like, oh, my dad said to thingy, then you're probably done.
Most people, if you talk to them, their kids are getting bullied at school. There's massive amounts of bullying in schools, massive.
And
now they've got social media and these chat groups. They're just constantly bullying each other. Even the way they interact. If you listen to go on a bus and listen to these kids, the way they interact.
It's disrespectful.
It's all negativity between each other.
I've seen it.
It's all you're ugly this, you're ugly that. They're only disrespecting each other. I mean, back in the day, man used to banter. But man wasn't just sitting there going, "Oh, you're ugly, fam." But these kids are demons.
But there was limits to it because someone might.
That's a bit, you go beyond. That's a bit. There'll always be the people.
And that's one thing they showed in that thing, adolescence. That I respect. They showed the reality of what these schools are actually like. Especially in London and the inner cities. These schools, the teachers are losing their minds because these kids are demons. They're not there to learn. They don't learn anything because most of the class is spent trying to get these demons to actually just not bully
to listen
and
or something.
And
pay attention.
That program shows that the schools is messed up. Most teachers are leaving teaching. They leave. They go to another country like Australia because the UK and America is the worst.
Remember, I'm sorry. Go on.
I've got a couple. This is first one. Matthew chapter 24 verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold.
Yeah, these kids don't know about love and how to treat each other. They don't have no love. They don't respect knowledge, wisdom, or understanding. They're just demons, man. Listen, don't become a teacher because all you're going to be doing is dealing, and you can't correct them, and they know that. They'll just tell you to F off. You tell them to leave the class and say what? And another thing they've built into the system is these schools don't want to exclude children now. Because when you exclude a child, it marks your school down and you get less funding. So basically, the whole education is fucked. That's why all the the kids that, you know, back in the day, you used to have them real bad breeds.
They'll go to boxing.
They don't get rid of them no more.
They keep them there.
They keep them there for as long as possible. So they're basically affecting everyone else. Just demons.
Basically creating the gremlins.
The gremlins,
Hey, you know, imagine before in the school system, remember, even in England, you'd get the cane. In England.
Yeah, you go back.
So imagine if we've gone from the cane to now we can't exclude the back.
Yeah, you can't. So basically those schools are a giant babysitting centers where the kids come to socialize, but they don't really learn anything because the majority of the time they're there. Not only do they not value education, but the most of the time they're there, they're not actually learning. They're just
bad breeds, but yeah.
This is Psalms.
It's the end of the world, bro.
And if your child likes to learn, they're fucked.
Well, they're going to be even.
They're going to get bullied.
But the thing is, so-called positive, even when I was growing up, positive kids were always kind of looked down on, even in the school system. The system was changing. But if you wanted to try and be good in school, you was like, you weren't cool. They actually helped the motherfucking demons.
Which really that starts from the cartoons and stuff, because remember the cartoons is like.
And then guess what? That makes you want to stop. But what that does is now it makes you want to start becoming like that.
Yeah, they do.
Then guess what? You start becoming like that. Before you know it, you're the same way. It's like birds of a feather flock together, man.
I precept Psalms 64.
Now you want to be down and all that.
Psalms 64 and 5. They encourage themselves in the evil matter. They commune of laying snares. Privilege. They say, who shall eat them?
Yeah, because there's a guy that's done it. I'll post it in the group if I find it again. He did a whole breakdown of how the education system works. Even in terms of the teachers, the only thing they need to worry about is making sure that the notations in the books are correct. But in terms of the children learning, none of that matters. It's all about dotting I's and crossing T's. And they put a lot of pressure on head teachers to meet certain requirements that's got nothing to do with it. Because remember that one teacher committed suicide because the guy just came in and downgraded the school for no reason. Just downgraded it, and then she committed suicide. Bro, the education system is messed up. It's not really about the children learning anything. It's just about babysitting them and getting them to the end of wherever they get to.
Yeah, making them a demon for society.
Demon for society, yeah. Most of them,
Demon
trust me,
That's
they
what it is.
They don't want to learn. But then the funny thing is, the immigrant children come in with a different mindset because they learn a different way.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I was going to say as well.
That's why I'm taking your job.
With it's like overseas schools, they also have the cane. It's like my younger sister, younger brother. When they're in school, they were getting caned.
There's fear.
She had to shut the fuck up.
There's fear there.
Back home, when I was in Ghana back in the day, like if you're dumb, you actually get mocked for being stupid. Like so anytime we do our exams, your exam is in front of the whole school year, from 1 to like So if you're like number 90, people go like, look at this idiot. You're dumb.
Yo, what's 7 times 9?
Remember, bro.
But that's the difference between an education system that's there to promote learning and children actually getting education, and an education system that's there to dumb people down and just babysit the kids. And that's all it is. The school system now is just the teachers are babysitters. They're not actually teachers. Even if they said, like, as a teacher, if you find a way to teach a student something, so let's say like you bring a football into the classroom, you know you can use this football to teach them something. If one of the head teachers comes in and sees you doing that, they'll say, no, you can't do that because
it's not part of the curriculum.
It's not part of the curriculum. And our teaching methods have, if an inspector comes in and sees you doing that method to teach your class, and then another teacher is not doing that, they'll mark you down because they'll say you don't have a uniform method for teaching. So as a teacher, you can't look at your students.
Are meant to be uniform anyway.
But again, it's just a way of...
It's control, isn't it?
It's control and a way of dominance.
That proves that we're controlled by international bankers, because they want to create an army of dummies that come into society now, and they want mischief. They're not about having a productive society.
The FDA is fucking up the food.
Yeah.
And the Department of Education is
that's true.
And
That's
all
right.
these jobs are going for all these youth to go into, right? And idle hands makes the devil's playground. I think the saying goes on. So they're going to just do mischief. You know what I mean? Because they're bored, they're going to have to do anyway.
Yeah, they're just on social media.
Even in England, years back, in the English school curriculum, you had boxing. you had boxing, so even the girls and boys would have to box in school. That was part of the curriculum, because you know, fighting, boxing, and training, it gives you discipline outside of actual words. It's like it gives you a different type of learning. They took that out. I'm talking about the craze era. Yeah.
Confrontational skills.
Different set of skills. So imagine in the world, you go out and everyone in society, you knew most of the people in them generations, you have to fight. You'd be more careful how you spoke to people. You'd be more. Now look at it. We live in a world of just disrespect, man.
What's that order out of chaos?
That's what it is, man.
Ecclesiasticus 10:2. Oh, okay. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein.
When you have a kingdom, man, you're supposed to, you know, have rule it in righteousness. And have, so basically, if you got a ruler and he's on some madness, everyone, that's what the scripture's saying, everyone's going to be under that spirit. And that's going to destroy your own kingdom, man. When you watch them, like a ancient world flick, even Marco Polo and that, you see the order that they had in those kingdoms. You know what I'm saying? Even though obviously this kid wicked and all that, but it's still order and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like the idea of righteousness. That's what all these other kingdoms have been lacking. The righteous element, but this is the kingdom of complete whacked out chaos. America produced, like you said, they used to cane the kids and that. Obviously, you know, but caning is really discipline. You know, obviously, you know, I'm not going to go into that, but and just morals and shit, but all that don't exist. You know, they brought in the agenda stuff, where you can be in the gender. They made the women wear.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a big part. Well, because it's that and what's called birth control.
Birth control as well. All of these things, all of these demonic things. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Huge, like you go down like a decade down the line, just putting in like birth control or just letting women work. The effects it's had on like the children, the family structure.
Basically, you got two men in the house. That's what it's a power struggle. And it's a clash of vibration. You know, and then the woman, right? And the woman could be a single. She's single. I'm a boss bitch. Because they've been given that.
become masculine.
Right, that's masculine. That's not. So there's chaos. And how can you have where's the family unit? When you got structure. My boss bitch is over there, and this broken bloke over there. Like, this is just crazy. This doesn't make sense.
Happy wife, happy life. And even that, happy wife, happy life. And even that mindset of people starting to have kids later, like you're
That's
like
another
39.
My body, making all these movements. My body, my choice. There's other ones. Me, mine, me, I don't know. That's the mannequin. A lot of those females, when they end up in their 40s and shit, like even career women, black career women sacrifice. It was a teacher, as a consultant, or whatever it was, and then they get to the 40 and they're on an apple something.
For real.
You know, they got no kids. Why they want to have kids? Because they chose the career. And now they, you know what I'm saying? They've been used really. You're working for the man. You're working for the machine.
If I can add as well as a con, because you said they sacrifice. Some legit have sacrificed their baby by going to them clinics, because why they going to them clinics? For their career. So it's like, I'm going to kill this baby so that I can get the promotion and stuff like that. So it is actually a sacrifice.
Right, by the way, all abortions is witchcraft. Okay, let's read. And the scripture says that they used to have people that would put their child to sacrifice to Molech.
That's right.
To get what? To gain. You know, sacrifice to gods. To get blessed, man. And they were doing that to, listen, man, Greco-Rome, they were doing that to many gods, right? You had Jupiter, the king of the gods, you had Mercury, all of this. You know what I'm saying? You had these different gods, Venus. They all had temples, man. Look it up. They had temples. They'll say you go to a temple, and you know what? They'll show that in a period piece or in a fucking game. You know, that's reality. These morons, these fucking bots going to work, don't even know about that. And they're doing the same thing today through different
the same form of worship that's done on. That's why it's like Christmas.
Right.
Every kid. That's talking about the indoctrination. It's like all these children, they're thinking like, oh, Christmas. I remember I was walking. It was like what, like June, like May, and I saw kids like walking, singing Christmas carols, and I'm like, you know what? They're so indoctrinated with Christmas that they're just singing that, they're feeling bliss, because that's how society's got you. Like kids just thinking like, oh, Christmas is all good.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it's
all year round.
Exalting Nimrod, man.
Scripture.
All year round.
Jeremiah 51:6. It said, well, the point's in 7. I'm starting 6. Flee ye out of the midst of Babylon, and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time.
We're under Babylon is the great, right? America's Babylon the great. All the tribes are there, right? I'll guarantee everybody's parents here. We're in the UK. A lot of brothers' parents who's in the come from the American hemisphere. All right, so that's where the bulk of the tribes is at. Okay, some just went to different places, and you got the history of Europe and stuff like that, where a lot of our seed is scattered all through Europe and all that. Okay, but we're under Babylon the Great. Babylon's America. England is the mother of America, right? That's in Revelation 17. So they got the same spirit. The confusion, we're all under that spirit. Even through Revelation 18, through the consumerism and the American empire, the culture being brought over to all these lands. We're all under that. Abortions came from America. What's happening?
Yeah.
Abortions. Me, you don't know me, I know me, and my body, who, what, when, is over here too.
Yeah.
Because you know, then the alphabet movement that
started over there.
Then they got flags for it. Then they got different genders. Her, she, him, who, when, what, I. What the fuck is up? No, that's what's popping. That's what's going on. And then you say the wrong thing, but on Glee, that is gender.
No, for real.
You know what I'm saying?
That's how it is.
Bro, it's like you can lose your job over that.
Oh,
Oh, no, they'll say we're very disrespectful.
He didn't give me my correct pronouns.
Bro, for real.
Pronouns right.
They be saying that.
Fucked up, bro.
Actually, like I use she, her pronoun.
Your man's got a full beard.
Full beard, bro.
Taller than you.
Taller than you.
Yeah, the shoulders broader than yours. Like,
he's only taller than you, and he had the high heels on.
Bro, it's crazy. You've got some of them certain days they like to call different pronouns. You've got to call them different things on certain.
So here's my calendar. I'm sure you get it correct.
It says,
I'm calling him man or sir.
Don't call me sir.
It's a sir or a man, bro.
It says, but this is the time of the Lord Yahweh's vengeance, and he will render unto her a recompense. Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, that have made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken
up. We're going to go back to an ancient way of life, of ancient principles. We've been in the West too long, and this is normalized, but you're seeing the fruits of the Western labor.
Right.
You know what I mean? All of this destruction, disease, confusion, broken homes, that's the West, that's a Western creation. You know what I'm saying? The homeless just all fucked up, the poor. But in the scriptures, you had the homeless, you would give them stuff, you would give system. There was a system for that. There was a system. These motherfuckers always complain of the homeless. It's all fucked up. And then people, you know, it's all the system's destroyed, broken. And they'll tell you that. Just watch the politics, watch the news, the politics. That's all that's going on. Where to put the money, cuts, debt. You know what I mean? Old people dying in homes in England, because of heat, no heating and that. So what's going on there?
Blaming it on them, you know.
You know what I'm saying? What's popping with that?
We're losing all the funding, disability, all this. You know what I mean? But then what about the bankers? What about them? The fractional reserves? Come on, man.
They actually kept the uncapped bonuses for bankers well. That was one of the things they were like, "Now we're leaving that."
Yeah.
But then I was like, "Bro," but then it's like, "Yo, you're just like you ain't got one leg's missing." You're just like, "Yeah, can I get some money?" He's like, "Nah,
You go back to work, man. You can
get a
That's
job."
why he had Luigi. What's his name?
Oh yeah.
Oh, and everyone
Mangione.
became a hero because everyone was like, yeah, they're fucking over all the people. Yeah. It was in America, it was in Babylon the Great, but that shows you the signs of the times.
Shall not regard
people
kings
different. That's
And that's what they want, that order of chaos.
Yeah.
They want people to start rebelling and revolting and shit. That's why they're putting the squeeze on a so-called working class and you know what I'm saying? Look at what they're doing. These gangs taking our jobs. And it's just stirring up that pot. You know?
They ain't got British values.
What have we become? And then, you know?
It's funny you said because
You motherfuckers never had values.
Yeah, we said this yesterday. Like back in a couple of years ago, they had like the black sitcoms. You had like, you know,
My Wife and Kids.
My Wife and Kids, One-on-One, Fresh Prince, Cosby Show.
Yeah.
But then now
Hanging with Mr. Cooper. Sister.
But now they're trying to amalgamate Jake into Esau's world. So now that's why Jake want to have a black Bond. They want to have Little Mermaid. So that's creating tension. That's part of the tension. Where it's like, wait, hold on. You gotta have your thing, and now they bring it to a head where everyone's coming against each other. It's like, oh, you want us to, you know, why? Like, have your own stuff. That's about building that tension.
That's true. But I was watching the pastor the other day, and he was talking about how you had the 7 dwarfs. And you got like a Latin chick in that, the main character. And pretty much in all these shows, they're starting to put Jakes in these shows. That's really the Lord's doing that. They just had the one with the.
Was that Little Mermaid?
Or even that caused a big controversy.
Yeah, Captain America as well. It's another
Captain America.
They did a cartoon on Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Wait, his dad was both trying.
He's both trying.
Yeah, he was Latin and Jake.
Come on, man. You telling me they don't know? Come on,
The dad was Judah, the mom
No,
was
that's
Latin.
from him getting pushed.
And Miles Morales.
Yeah, Miles
Miles Morales.
Miles Morales. Jake and Mike.
Miles Morales.
So that's what's popping. Even in the medieval shows, man, there's been a lot that's happened. You know, that's been overlooked. There's been a couple. There's a couple of the top actors. You even watch some of them, but there are Jakes in that shit. There's been the medieval shows, and they put straight Jakes in it.
Vikings.
Well, there's one recent
Jakes
one with
on the front
Bashi.
of
They put him
England.
in there as a Stewart. They put Bashi in there.
Oh, yeah.
They put him. There's one with Bashi. They put Ashley. They put him in
I
there.
think there's one with an American, like.
There's a few of them, bro.
They've done loads at this point. Because I know there was
He went Jamie Foxx or someone like that.
Yeah, and there was an uproar about that.
there was one about Catherine the Great, but then there was also
one with Malachi Kirby as well.
There's another one recently, Mary Queen of Scots. They made a film,
Yeah,
and they had an Eve up in there as one of the family.
Right.
Mary Queen of
He's got
Scots.
some memory on him, man.
Yeah.
But hey, you just got a crazy.
There's one Mary Queen of Scots, a film. I see it, and they had like
You know,
a
something
high
about-
yellow Eve in there. That which is actually depicting of the real life.
That's the truth, man.
Yeah.
So with that Lord, the Lord's Jehovah should be on sides doing that. Just like how in Rome, Jake was just. Why would that be happening? Because it's the end. I always like this point that if Will Smith is in like every end times film. Hey, let's read something, man.
All right, this is Psalms 85 and verse 11. Truth shall spring out of the earth, and righteousness shall look down from heaven.
What say that?
Truth shall spring out of the earth.
That's the truth springing out of the earth. That you got all these shows and movies, even like the King David one, obviously they put Jake, I think Jake in it like that. But they still didn't put, you know what I'm saying? They put,
But they put like kind of like Ephraimite looking cats in that new one, like House of David. That one you're talking
I haven't
about?
even started.
Oh.
I haven't even watched
sorry,
it yet.
sorry.
I need to watch that.
They kind of put a few like.
Well, they did that. Remember the Samson?
Oh yeah,
They
Samson.
had
the
the
Bible
body.
TV show.
And that dude walked past the camp.
Yeah, no, that's what.
When the movie was hot, he walked past the camp and shit. He did.
It was in Game of Thrones as well. It was in a few things.
So that's the truth springing out of the earth. We are the Israelites, man. You know, the Lord's got, that's why the Lord's got us on the tribes have woke up. That you can't turn the tide back. You can't turn it back. That's prophecy, Ezekiel 37. Because the dry dead bones, because that was in slavery. The Jakes are just niggas. They don't know what. They crash out on each other. They don't know nothing. confused, you know, working for the man. But now they know that year of gods. Someone get me that year of gods. And someone get me Romans where it says to wait for the manifestation of the sons. Right? Just you know, just type it in. You'll see it.
I've got the Romans.
Read it.
Romans chapter 8, verse 19.
All right, so can we jump up a bit before that? Was that
It says from verse
we got about 15?
15. It says, "For ye have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear."
All right, let's jump 13.
13.
Yeah.
Romans 8 and 13. "For if ye live after the flesh, ye shall die."
Right, so we was put in this flesh, the flesh that we're in these human bodies, right? At one time Adam was perfect, but sin came in, and then we got cursed. And cursed with what? Death. Death, dying is a curse, bro. That's actually a curse that goes back to the start of time. So we was actually designed not to die, really. But through sin, we die. So, your death is life. No, really, death is a curse.
I've got
you know what I'm saying?
that.
Okay, yeah.
Right, this is 2nd Esdras, the 7th chapter and 48th verse. Oh, Adam, what hast thou done? For though it was thou that sinned, thou art not fallen alone, but we all that come of thee. For what profit is it unto us if there be promise and immortal time, whereas we have done works that bring death? You know?
Right.
So that fall started from it. And then that's how, you know, everyone has to kind of, you know, go through death.
Yep, it says, but if ye through the Spirit do mortify the deeds of the body, ye shall live. For as many...
Yeah, and pretty much so. That's why we're out here. This is like a righteous sacrifice. It is a righteous sacrifice to the Lord. When we come out here and teach, you are what you put in your energy into, man. You know what I'm saying? If you're just a thief, then you're gonna die a thief. If you at Diddy parties, you're gonna die at Diddy, unless you repent. You know what I'm saying? So we're making righteous sacrifices to the Most High, and all the people see that. That's why they're starstruck. They're like, you know what, these guys are preaching the Bible, and they can't deny the righteous sacrifices that you do. So they might start to nitpick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's, you know what I'm saying? That's just demon, that's hating, that's energy. But really, people can see it in the prophecies and things that are happening. So that's making your body a living sacrifice. Coming out here and making righteous sacrifices, bro. Let's read on.
Yep, it says, for as many as are led by the Spirit of Yahweh, they are the sons of God.
Right, so we're led by the Spirit, man. We pray and all that. Everything we do, Lord willing, we hope the Lord blesses us in our daily lives, man. Because we're under the curses, so we just, you know what I'm saying? So we're led by the Spirit. We do shows, the Spirit kicks in. You might say you do a show, you're on one topic, then the Spirit kicks in, yeah? And guess what? You're doing all types of different topics. But that's the Lord wanting something else out there. All right, let's carry on.
Yeah, it says, verse 15, for ye have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear, but ye have received the spirit of adoption, whereby we cry, Abba, Father.
If you stay in the flesh and you basically don't do things of the Spirit, then you're going to die. You know, and that's that you're cursed, you're under that bondage. But through Yahweh Shai, we're redeemed, eternal life, you know what I mean, a higher calling. So that's why you got to teach. Yeah, you got to keep the commandments. Because they go, oh, GMS don't tell you to keep bullshit. We just kept the Passover, we kept the Sabbaths, we don't eat pork, we don't eat shrimps, lobsters, keep dietary law, we keep ceremonial laws, we don't, you know what I'm saying? You keep all, don't commit adultery and that. Yeah, so we keep the laws, bro.
Yeah.
So that's us. On the, you know, but then on top of that, right.
You can't keep it 100%. Otherwise, you're being proud. Otherwise, man.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, so actually, if you try and say you can keep the laws perfect, you're actually proud. So then you're saying that you didn't need Yahweh.
You didn't need Yahweh, yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what you're saying, hombre. Motherfucking punk bitch,
That's what you're
nigga.
saying. That's what you're saying.
Pussy ass niggas, mate. What you talking about, man? You know what I'm saying? Let's read, man.
Yeah. Verse 16.
You fucking pieces of shit. Okay.
The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of Yahweh.
Yeah.
And if children,
And that's why spiritual things are happening, synchronization. You know what I'm saying? You might driving down and you see 444 or something, or you was talking about something, and you watch a video, and then other brothers in another state, they're talking about the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's clearly the Lord dealing with us, and we're establishing the house of David. Who else is doing that? So you know what I'm saying? So this is it. Who else is doing that,
The
mate?
house of David. Imagine the shows getting made as well.
Yeah.
We're talking about synchronization as well.
Look at that. So that's the spirit. This is the time, bro.
Bro, it's
Trump's
like
in,
right now.
Donald
Imagine.
J.
Doing the doomsday president, man.
Right.
Look, he is.
Hey, and the spiritual, man, like, as the tabernacle of David's being built, we're seeing that tabernacle of Saul, everything's been exposed, man.
Yeah, it's all
You know?
Right now, there's supposed to be stuff for General Yohana. Yeah, now there's some, apparently, we don't know what, now there's, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, that's that scripture, man, when I think it was Ezekiel and he was seeing through the wall. See all the creep, there was all doing the wickedness. That's heavy. We're going to read that back and back.
People getting fucking extorted.
Right, we read that because you can't tell me this ain't the spirit of
That's the
Yahweh
spirit, bro.
Shai. Like all of a sudden, like you said, you took deals and that, and all of a sudden it's all coming out. Immoralities that they're gonna do to uphold these deals. That's how the deals work, right?
It's like in every industry,
Right.
there's people where they've been compromised to
Yeah.
get some gain.
Compromised.
Yeah.
That word. That's fucking dirty, bro. Dirty ass deal, that. Compromised. You know what I mean? Like.
Kit was purchased. I got,
that's like when was that when Rick Ross, it was it Meek or someone signed the contract. And he was just like Ross was like,
he's
like you know, just that was he signed it.
I actually saw that.
Now you know what comes with that contract now.
You're beholden to them. They're power over you,
You get humble.
Precept?
As soon as the contract signed, the baby will get slapped to the table.
Them contracts today, man, the terms will be in the contract. So they know what they're doing. Just with the terms, obviously there's small prints in every contract, so either.
That's why it's a term as well.
Right. But they'll still have things in there, like you pledge to, you know what I mean? They got it and they go, you know all that. It's dirty. Right. Also, we ain't Great Millstone ain't compromised, bro. It's coming out of a lot of you top camps out there with the uniform garments and that. And the dough and the churches, the big mega schools and that, the cathedrals, right? And the medieval cathedrals and that. Y'all have got deals, nigga. So what's up with that, homeboy? You know what I'm saying? Dudes are doing all sorts of things that's coming out on dudes. We ain't done nothing like that, punk ass. You know what I'm saying?
Precept?
Of course.
Like, do you agree it's not your body, not your choice?
Jeremiah chapter 5 verse 26. For among my people are found wicked men. They lay wait as he that setteth snares. They set a trap, they catch men. As a cage is full of birds, so are their houses full of deceit. Therefore,
if you establish a church and you say to the church, you can't call on the name Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, that's a demonic church. Straight off the back. I don't know if you said that. But straight out the gate. They ain't trying to use that thing. Right, straight out the gate. You know that dude keeps going off the back. I ain't trying to, like, you know what I'm saying? I got my own spirit, but out the gate, you know what I'm saying? What was I talking about, man? Let's read.
Church is taking things out of the church.
Oh yeah, so the names, the names, Yahweh and Yahweh Shine. We can get scripture, that's the main thing, bro. Because foundations, man. You got a church and you ain't calling on the ancient name of the Most High, bro. And what the fuck is he doing?
You say ancient,
how you gonna have
even say present? You know what I mean? It's just one name. It's always been one name. And if you ain't calling for that name, guess what? You either take a deal, or the Lord just simply ain't giving it to you. Because he ain't dealing with you, man. You know?
But these niggas don't believe that the Lord revealed back the name to us.
Yeah.
Because that's what happened through the Spirit. And them niggas ain't got faith.
It happened once. Why not again, right? You believe Moses received the name, right?
Yeah.
From the bush, I think it was the bush. What was it? Another time that happened.
It was,
for the burning.
It was through the bush.
Exodus 3 and
You know? So yeah, if Moses can receive it then, why can't we receive it now? You don't have faith. That's the problem. You know?
It says the elect shall praise his holy name.
That's it.
How's that going to be done?
How's it possible?
the elect shall praise his holy name. But it ain't like some made up name. It ain't, God. It ain't that.
That's not the holy name.
No.
That's a title. Everyone knows it's a title.
Right. Let's say.
Precept?
Yeah, go on.
Psalms 91 verse 14.
Someone got the Ezekiel. Read that.
Psalms 91 verse 14. Because he has set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high because he hath known my name.
So that's a tenet of scriptures that we're going to know. The name, we speak the ancient Hebrew, the Lashon Kodash, we're Israelites. So the Lord revealed us to the tongue. The small hats they got there for, they don't be talking about we can't just read it. Because they ain't talking some stupid shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That's some niggas that, because most of the niggas, when they came to the truth, they're calling on the name. Then they get compromised, right? It's always that, spaghetti on the table, a contract. You know what I'm saying? Italian spaghetti. You like spaghetti and all that. Just meatballs or whatever. The contract, man. The glass of some champagne or something. You just watching it get He's gonna do it. He's just gonna do it, man. And if you don't do it, then you know what happens, right? Them people introduce you to the industry. A lot of people in modeling or music and that, they'll give you that, they'll have you around that life, bring you around flights. And then it's like, you don't even know this dude's like he's your mentor coach, but he's your link. So then what happens is now, the contract appears and that. And obviously, they probably introduce you to gay clubs and free shit already. The contract comes and that, and then you gotta, so if you don't do it, they're gonna be mad at you. They're gonna be like, I took you under my wing. It's bullying. Now that, you know what? Example of that was Krypton Cones. They said when they didn't conform to something, the dude's like, you know what they're saying? He crashed out. He couldn't believe. Like, what's gotten into you? You know what I'm saying? I mean, all the Italian spaghetti. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
I'm grateful.
Right, you know what I'm saying? The Italian spaghetti, the meatballs, the trips to France. I'm saying, you can't believe it now. Now, you think what got into you because one of your cousins told you about the truth or something. You backed out. You know what I'm saying? ASAP for that mechanic.
That shit will fall apart. Bro, you still be done, bro. You the whole family. It's really worth it.
You know what I'm saying? What we got?
I've got Ezekiel up. Right. So Ezekiel 6, so like Ezekiel 8 and 6, he said, furthermore unto me, son of man, Seest thou what they do, even the great abominations that the house of Israel committeth here? That I shall go far off from my my sanctuary, but turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations. I actually thought it was a hook.
It is, but
But turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations. And he brought me to the door of the court, and when I looked behind a hole in the wall, then said he
Let's
unto
read
me,
it again, because that horse, man. Go on, man, because I just got distracted.
I'll soften it up.
Yeah.
Ezekiel 8 and 6, he said, furthermore unto me, son of man, seest thou what they do, even the great abominations that the house of Israel committeth here? That I should go far off from my sanctuary, but turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations. And he brought me to the door of the court, and when I looked behind a hole in the wall, then said he unto me, son of man, dig now on the wall. And when I digged in the wall, behold a door. And he said unto me, go in, and behold the wicked abominations that they do here. So I went in and saw, and behold, every form of creeping things and abominable beasts, and all the idols of the house of Israel betrayed upon the wall round about. And there stood before them 70 men of the ancients of the house of Israel, and in the midst of them Jaazaniah, the son of Shaphan, with every
So 8 of them, it's mentioned top 7.
70, yeah,
70
men.
And the top fucking priests.
And ancients.
Right.
Raised.
So we're dealing with top men in Israel here. These top schools, man, and there's certain people that are different. This is man. Them people are back here today. This is the spirit, bro. Everything. This is like the Matrix, yeah. Everything just is synchronized. The Lord says it and it happens. You can't get around that, right? So people like that think that this is a fairy tale. Then they get shocked when things start actually manifesting. They can't believe it. You know what I'm saying? Like when the lockdowns happened, they couldn't believe it, and that's what we said was going to happen. It's going to happen again, right? Let's go on.
I've got a precept.
Okay.
Quick one. Well, Micah 3 and 1. And I said, Jacob, and you princes of the house of Israel, is it not for you to know judgment, who hate the good and love the evil?
You top men, princes, rulers in Israel of the tribes, so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, Puerto Ricans, yeah? You got top niggas in these seats, man, and they're getting the niggas to eat pork. They're getting Jakes and not calling the name. Oh, don't call on that name. No. You know what I'm saying? The crashing. You know what I'm saying? The demons.
They're
Right?
enforcing the demons harder.
Right.
Crazy.
When Yahushua was taken and they were going to crucify him, Caiaphas the high priest, they had them, it actually says in the book of Gospel of Matthew, they took Caiaphas, they took Yahushua to Caiaphas, and all the chief of the scribes and the Pharisees were gathered together, so they were all just waiting for Yahushua to start busting him and start accusing him falsely of all sorts of wickedness, and they were the leaders of Israel that everyone looked to as the righteous at the time.
And they were doing dirty. That's what actually come out in these guys. This is a lot of these geezers, such as the full of them and the white and sepulchres outside the when you know they go looking for GMSUK bomb garments. Nigga, fuck your garments. What are you getting up to? In them school, it's all coming out. IUIC was all kind of shit coming out about them before. All this stuff. Crazy, man.
A little bit more. Who pluck off their skin from off them, and their flesh from off their bones. Who also eat the flesh of my people, and flay their skin from off them, and they break their bones and chop them in pieces, as for the pot, and as flesh within the cauldron. Then shall they cry unto the Lord Yahweh, but he will not hear them. He will even hide his face from them at that time, as they have behaved themselves ill in their doings. So yeah, that precepts with the valley of the dry bones, because what you have is you had in the same book the brothers reading Ezekiel about the breath of life coming upon them, and the bones coming together, the sinew and the flesh building upon them. But what these wicked leaders are basically doing is now they're coming to undo the good works that the Heavenly Father put in place by taking flaying off the skin, breaking the bones and throwing it aside to establish whatever they got going on. Like the brother mentioned with Caphias. He basically, their counsel in the back, away from everyone, was that, look, it's prophesied that one should die for the nation, but that if this man come, the whole world will, basically the whole world go after him, and they'll lose their seat that Rome has given them. So they understood, we need to get Yahweh, well, they understood for their wicked doing, we need to get Yahweh Shai out of here and fulfill prophecy technically, but so we can establish our rulership. So that's how they're breaking the bones. And this is what these guys, General Yohana, Nate Satan, all these demons, they're basically doing that right now.
Nate Satan.
That's what they got to do to get, basically, so they can go forward with this system and establish that 501c3, all these different things. But the Most High, hey, it's got their number. Because like we're seeing right now, what happened, 2-3 weeks ago, prior to the Passover, one of the main guys that's out there perpetuating a certain ideal, he got exposed in the most embarrassing way ever. So that really just shows you that the Most High and the power to play with, man.
These other camps have been set up to prevent the two-thirds from coming to the truth. Ultimately. Because they ain't dealing with the truth. They've got their own secret agendas that they've got going on in the background, right? And they're there to block men from receiving the truth. The same way, the wicked scribes and Pharisees, they were trying to keep people from listening to Yahweh, saying that he was, being blasphemous and all these types of things. And it's the same shit they'll say about us now, and apostles, about this truth that we have. But they're just set up for the fall of the wicked of our people, man.
Precept from what you said. It says Matthew 7:13, enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat.
Because what did the Pharisees do? The wicked Pharisees do at the end of the day, man. They caused the people to basically crucify Yahweh Shai. They caused a wicked act to happen, and they took an oath that our blood be upon our children and all kinds of things. They were going crazy, man. They were crazy. But they convinced them that Yahweh Shai was wicked somehow. Even though they had really nothing to say. It's the same as we, they've got really nothing to say about us, and so they have to take shots from different, just over bullshit. But behind closed doors, what were the wicked scribes and Pharisees doing? Being hypocrites. And again, it's the same with these other kinds. They're being hypocrites, man.
That's why when they come against us, so when they come against us, they're coming against Yahweh Shai. Because when Yahweh Shai was on the scene, he said that I'm here, but I'm going to be a comforter. And that's going to be the Holy Spirit, which is Yahweh Shai, the Word. And that's going to be the comforter. So look, Yahweh Shai is with us through the comforter, through the Spirit. And that's how he's doing. Because he said that I'm not going to be physically there, because that was for that time, but I'm going to be there. So when they're coming against you this time round, they're coming against me because I'm the comforter. I'm the one that's that's the Spirit. Right? So that's what they're doing. 2.0 coming against Yahweh Shai, false accusations. 2.0.
Nah.
Yeah, let's finish it. Let's finish that.
Ezekiel 8:11. And there stood before them 70 men of the ancients of the house of Israel.
Well, a lot of cats, man. Go ahead.
And in the midst of them stood Jaazaniah,
More than that. Go on.
the son of Shaphan, with every man his censer in his hand, and a thick cloud of incense went up. Then said he unto me, Son of man, hast thou seen what the ancients of the house of Israel do in the dark? Every man in the chambers of his images.
So I gotta say this, when a lot of you guys you pick your groups, so I'm gonna be ISUK, I'm gonna be IUIC and all that. You guys gotta understand that you're either signing up to some wicked high scribes and Pharisees, or you're signing up for the truth. So what happens is some people might sign up to these organizations, but then they might secretly be watching Great Millstone.
Yeah.
So you've got members of the elect in there, they're secretly watching, because they're like, You know what I'm saying? But they're stuck. Because them dudes, you know where they go on. Well, IUIC was getting people's details, you had to sign up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're telling you what woman to pop.
Monitoring everything you're doing.
You know what I'm saying?
Fucking
Don't deal with
sensors.
that woman, brother. I don't deal with that woman. You deal with that woman. That booty's for me. Come on, man.
Go ahead.
For they say, the Lord Yahweh seeth
Yeah, the
us
fucking
not.
sap fucks in there will be like saying, sorry, man. The sap fucks in there will actually accept that shit.
Yeah.
They won't even like talk up like, oh, well, what do you mean, man? That's not,
I
is
know
that
it.
righteous?
Yeah? They'll read the
even ask
scriptures like
questions.
that afternoon.
Yeah.
They'll show us wickedness, but then they're just gonna accept, right? For they say, the Lord Yahweh seeth us not. The Lord Yahweh hath forsaken the earth. Yeah, so they really don't believe in the truth. They're seeing it as like, well, they're holding on to the money, they're holding on to beliefs in something else.
Again, trying to establish themselves. Yeah? Like the wicked scribes and Pharisees, they wanted to keep their seat. They wanted to establish themselves, keep themselves established. You know?
Well, even that,
They said the Lord saved them not, like they can hold them secrets. But the Lord had Ezekiel see it all. See all the prophets represent exposure. You know?
The powerful, the scripture says the spirit of the prophets are subject unto them. So it's just how you got the righteous prophets, you got the wicked prophets are back, doing their same lots, man.
And that scripture just shows that they're cornered already when they start signing deals. There was all, like through the spirit, this happened. It was already exposed.
Yeah.
You've already been exposed, man. Everything's already written.
Done in the dark.
It's kind of tripped out. You know what I mean? When you sign, you already fucked. You fucked already.
Yeah, the angel's witnessing it.
Yeah,
that's
already
it.
there.
Most High sees it all,
He's
right?
marked it down. He's like, okay. He quivered for
The
like,
Lord has to do that,
0.5
right? Seal their
seconds.
destruction. The deal.
See, the Most High don't bring judgment until you've done the deed. You know what I mean? Even though the Most High knows you're going to do it, he don't judge you until you've done the deed.
Right.
So he hasn't known. He hasn't made known that these motherfuckers are doing some shit, man.
What's it? No
You
temptation
can have a
for the
pact.
time.
You can have a pact with demons, man. It's about, you know.
The Most High always offers a way out of temptation, innit?
Yeah,
So it present a temptation, but there's a way where you can cut out. But so all these guys wouldn't have had a contract put before them. They could have said no. Like what's the priest in Ezra? Eliezer. Yeah. Basically, he said like after all these years, like
oh yeah, with the pork and all that.
Yeah. They said we'll give you a lawful meat. He said, but now I'll lead them astray.
Yeah.
And they were cool.
The appearance of evil.
That was with the Greeks, isn't it? That with the Greeks.
And it was cool with the general, whoever did it. And even then, his counters chained to him. He said, man, fuck this old man. Yeah.
Because Esau wants you to consent.
Yeah.
Same with the CV. It's like he didn't just inject it in people. He wanted you to sign on a dotted line that, I'm consenting to this procedure.
But now it's your fault.
Yeah, exactly. Now it's your and then with the MOTB, it's going to be the same thing.
Verse 40. Oh, wait.
But even the guy from IOIC, Iafan, he said that the mark of the beast, I think he was corresponding with Apostle Tahar on the boards, he said the mark of the beast is the chip, but the IUI, my congregation aren't ready to. Then afterwards he doubled back on that.
I think that's trolling it personally, man.
But then afterwards he basically totally ignored that he even said that afterwards. You know, obviously the demon came back on him. Hard in his heart. But he actually admitted that mark of the beast is the chip, the thing, right? And the congregation ain't ready for that.
But it's the same guy that said, I'm snitching.
Yeah.
He should have been snitching on Nate, man. To the Most High.
Well, it's been put out that
Well, you know what? These geezers do know that.
They know
what's going on.
They know what's going on.
They know the name of the Lord. So they're being, you know what I mean? That's part of the deal.
They're being cunning, demons.
So they were teaching them, they were on point at one time. That's the thing. The reality is we got the records.
Yeah.
Right, so that's part of that deal. That's the deal, man.
It's the deal, bro. It's the deal.
You know what I'm saying? You know, one day you just see it. Look, man, this is the title. It's great, most don't jump on it. But look, man, it's not the chip, right? Then he's got the breakdown. He's got the guys in it. Look, right? And then that's how you always see it.
Yeah.
Then, you know, this upstarts will just be right. So, you know,
Right.
And then they got their scriptures to put together and that. It was crazy, man.
Never on point.
Then the Great Millstone, and then on them, there are 20, 30 videos, they can't handle it. Because GMS always, you guys always attacking every group.
Stop it.
That's what he said, man. Like one of the eyes he said,
Yeah.
they're always attacking every
Well,
group.
General Yohana said that recently.
But he said it again, yeah, he said it now, because what happened with Sakari,
Right.
he was blaming us.
He said we're the hate group.
What are you talking about, man?
What are the details, what are the facts in
So
the
you're just
situation?
hating that Ezekiel spirit.
That's true. That's true, bro.
There's like a crack in the wall. It's like one
What was that?
person's
What was
been-
that card? Oh, meddling kid.
Oh, Scooby-Doo.
If it wasn't for these men,
That's how they look at us. Like if it wasn't for us, they'd have them seats and we'd be exposed.
I would have got away
But,
from
but
it.
yeah, but
If it
that
wasn't
puts
for-
that puts Great Millstone in good company.
Excuse me. It wasn't for
If it wasn't for these men,
Yeah, am I becoming your enemy because I tell you the truth, right?
Well, let's read.
Verse 13. He said also unto me, turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations that they do.
It's getting worse.
That's what's happening right now. There's one thing, but then there's more. There's more.
And there's more. And there's more to come.
There's more.
So it's like, oh, there's worse. It's just like, oh,
50 Shades of Grey shit.
yeah, bro.
One thing's already been getting plunged with the AI fucking device.
oh man.
Yeah, 3D.
I mean, what can you get worse than that? I mean, 3D. It's gonna get worse, right?
Oh yeah. But the joke thing is when
this woman while he's watching.
no, but the thing is, the crazy thing is with all of that, these dudes do it. But the joke thing is, even when it came out, everyone in Israel, every other camps, everyone defended
Everyone
it.
was defending.
There was actually no issue with it.
They were holding them up.
It shows you that
world.
it's wicked.
That's the world.
The world is wicked
The
as
world.
hell.
That's the world,
And these niggas in
sorry for him.
that are outside of our like the true knowledge, they're actually all with it. It's like it's not even a big. It's like we're gonna wait for some more. This is the niggas actually like doing all of that, and everyone just they're all good with it.
Yeah.
Anyone who's
They
defending
said
that-
pray for him and fast for him.
Fast for him.
That's what they said.
So they want GMS destroyed,
Right. So they can
but
keep
he's
doing
allowed
it.
to get fucking sniped.
He's allowed to. The woman that
How
Yeah.
does that even work?
I want to know how they
They
feel
want
about
us out of you guys. But he's allowed to do
But
that.
it just shows you. It just shows you the mind of the world, isn't it? You know, the world is wicked,
I
bro.
wonder what they're going to say about Passover.
Yeah,
being
you
kept
want
in
to
a
send her.
scripture.
Like, what do they think about that? Did they rebuke him on
No,
that?
they don't want the bitter herbs that even came out this week.
No, but that was before the new thing now. He's allowed to get
Yeah,
AI plunged
Yeah.
basically.
or watch his woman get trained and just
And that are we supposed to put
I
motherfucker?
can say my child
Yeah.
is
So,
cruel.
right.
Yeah.
Scripture
You
say,
can do some wickedness and
Which was
go,
all bullshit, man.
that was just so
but the scripture say, a woman shouldn't usurp the authority of the man.
Which was all bullshit, man.
And your woman is usurping authority, man. That's not
Best
right.
rule,
And the same, and the thing is, another thing, they get on the Great Millstone about because we get on the tribal women, which is rightful so, and they get on the Great Millstone for that. But this guy was a top leader, and he's letting her get run through by devils.
This is high.
Come on, bro, that's demonic.
Of hypocrisy is demonic.
It's demonic, bro.
That's what happened.
You're letting
with,
devils get run through her,
Yeah,
bro. When you're supposed to be, aren't you supposed to be like teaching them women the right way to behave?
And he's a priest as
high
well.
priest.
You know?
He's a priest.
He's one of the
Man,
men
how
to be a
chief
virgin.
You letting devils go
That's
there.
how Shai was cutting them, man. He was writing people's sins down. Because they were trying to cut him and they were doing worse.
Yeah.
But they were doing
He did
foul
something
shit.
about sin.
But they're trying to go on like,
But no one can rebuke him because he's a Levite. Remember that?
Yeah.
So it's like
you are getting the black woman. You curse us about
Right.
that, but he's allowed to get a black woman trained
By devils.
by devils.
Wearing
That's
a
crazy.
t-shirt that says I love black women.
Priest, yeah, fuck them, bro.
after review.
Show you where the fuck they at, bro, with this shit. Devils go there.
Says, and thou shalt see greater abominations that they do. Then he brought me to the door of the gate of the Lord Yahweh's house, which was toward the north. And behold, there sat women weeping for Tammuz.
Yes, the idols.
Serving idols. Like Nate, he serves Jesus Christ. He serves Jesus Christ, man. He don't serve Yahweh Shai. You know? What's that?
Then said he unto me, Hast thou seen this, O son of man? Turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations than these.
So even more they will see.
It's not stopping.
You pull the carpet back, there's filth, there's grime, there's cockroaches. Then you realize there's
Well,
another
remember,
carpet.
bro.
Then you pull that.
Well, remember these
There's a
guys.
dead body. There's
Well, remember they're breaking all the Lord's word. Because remember, remember even IUIC, they had that girl. She got actually killed. I think in Europe here. Right. So they've actually got murder scandals, sex scandals, all type of shit going on, bro. It's like, come on, you know what I'm saying? Come on. Even that dude, Brother Polite, the Egyptologist, he was talking about dudes are popping young girls. Well, you was really doing that. You flew a bitch you flew a young woman from a town to a motherfucking state. I think it was a daughter of another woman, by the way. That was he's double breaking the law.
It was his wife. He was popping the wife.
And the daughter.
And the daughter.
And the daughter, bro. And then now
he was at the camp.
right. Talking about the rape doctrine.
Rape doctrine or whatever. He was the biggest advocate. It went viral.
Right.
And then he ended up getting convicted for that.
That's what you're doing.
Which would tell you, man, that wasn't the first time
he's in jail right now. What is going on? Like how like y'all y'all got nothing to say.
You got nothing to say.
When this is going on. Remember when this nigga was viral, bro? He went Whole Foods and he was viral.
He was with Floyd.
He was so viral. World Star Hip Hop.
He was wearing them shoots, them boots.
Right.
And remember,
it was on the Breakfast Club. This was all attacking us.
and remember, bro, he ain't
And
nothing.
this is how big this shit, right?
That's
Remember
right.
when he was praying to money on the bed?
And remember, he's
This
not
nigga
about
got convicted
Fucking hell.
for fucking doing an
for the
underage
same
girl, man.
thing you're throwing. And remember, he's a Malachi Z. York. He's a student. He's a disciple of Malachi Z. York. You know, maybe don't follow everything he does, but he's a. Well, yeah, there you go. There you go. So you've all been. Remember, even years back, the apostles used to even get on Malachi Z. York's people. Remember years back. All that history's come out. Done.
You go that Pyramid City.
They grew up the Pyramid City, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Now look, man. Yeah, Africa, but they're all interlinked. They're all interlinked. Africa, Bombata, Malachi Z. York, that era was all interlinked. So their ideology obviously still lives on. But guess what? You look what's going on, man. But remember, even Yahushai, when he taught, they said he's the devil. So if Yahushai can't get it right, what the hell we gonna do? We just gotta wait till the Lord destroys this shit, man. Because these niggas still will try to curse you out, man.
Let's read.
Verse 16. And he brought me into the inner court of the Lord Yahweh's house, and behold, at the door of the temple of the Lord Yahweh, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men, with their backs toward the temple of the Lord Yahweh, and their faces towards the east, and they worship the sun toward the
This
east.
is crazy, man. So what are you niggas doing behind
What are you
those
doing,
doors?
man?
So in the same place you got Howard there, man are worshipping idols. That's the same thing. So you're posted up as an Israelite camp or Israelite group, worshipping or doing stuff you shouldn't be doing. Same stuff. Same thing.
Listen, man, and you know, the Lord's exposing all of that. If you ain't in the right energy field, you ain't, you know, we pray to be of the hopeful elect. We want to get beamed up, so we're going to be dealing with the Spirit of the Lord, bro. Not no creepy, crawly, cockroach behavior behind the scenes and all that, just for clout and fuck the clout, nigga. You know, we're going to be famous anyway through the Spirit, but through righteousness, bro.
In the kingdom.
But all this clout chasing right now, podcasts,
It's all bullshit.
all this clout, fuck that shit.
I was reasoning with yesterday about it. It's like the clout demon is like the bedrock of everything everyone does nowadays. All the young'uns, they're coming up. All they see is that clout. That's why they're licking toilet seats. Going into fucking supermarkets, being like, open ice cream, lick the ice cream, and then put it back.
I've got precept.
Anything for that glory, like it's weird.
Absolutely.
And it's shame though, it's shame. This is what I understand. It's shame what they're doing. But this world looks at it as something good.
Crazy.
Yeah. Probably setting great dignity, man.
a priest who's talking about will be given fame. It says Zephaniah 3 from 19. It says, behold, at that time I will undo all that afflict me. Says, and I will save her that halted and gather her that was driven out, and I'll get them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame.
That's the GMS. Sorry.
I was just to say, man, that's how people, because we're in the line of captivity, we've been put in shame because of all the shameful things we've done, right? But that's going to be reversed, man, because through the elect, through Yahweh Shai and the elect, they're going to be glorified in front of all nations, man. And so that's why we're going to get fame, because we're not going to be as you see us today. We're going to be above the nations that we're supposed to be, being kings and priests and judges and gods over the other nations, man. So that's when we're going to get our fame. Right? In this world, it's not for us.
And we also.
But we will get it on this side.
But we acknowledge Yahweh Shai, man.
What your brother's saying right is what the brother's saying right. We're not going to get it on this side.
Yeah.
Because basically, the Lord raised up the.
He's gonna make it known who his men are.
Yeah. Even back in Rome, they started Paul, they started healing people and shit. The Spirit of the Lord is going to have brothers do stuff like that. It'll be like the road of it, and brothers are going to be able to. The Spirit, the Lord's going to help brothers until we get beamed up. Because it's going to be chaotic, there's going to be no food. But that's in Job, my prophet shall eat. How are we going to eat? Through those miraculous encounters and situations.
So that famine now shall laugh.
Yeah, because famine is terrible, bro. You know what I mean? Like, if you go Tesco, Asda now,
there's nothing there.
And there's nothing there, man. What you going to do? You got too much time. You're hungry now. Like, what, you ain't got people going to freak out.
We saw it like 5 years ago. We saw that 5 years ago, man. This period of time, what, COVID times? You go into the shops, there's no food, people fighting each other.
No fucking toilet paper.
No toilet paper.
When you think about it, like we fast to afflict the day of affliction, day of atonement is about afflicting our body. So if you're gonna be laughing in that period, like that's something else, man. Everyone's being afflicted. I ain't got no food.
Well,
ain't gonna be
right
there.
now, you got these the Islamic communities. They're like so-called doing their Ramadan. Bro, it's like it's 5 hour in between. They ain't even afflicting themselves.
Bro, it's barely that. It's literally a 12-hour window of fasting.
See, when you do the Day of Atonement, the real atonement, no water, no food, that's actually really afflicting your flesh.
Oh, you got the same one.
That's training.
Wake up at 5 a.m. and then you go to sleep. Wake up at 12.
Yeah, bro.
To go. Okay,
Come on, bro. That's some fucking rip-off, man.
Bro, it's just like,
I got a scripture. This is Lamentations 4:9. They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger.
Yeah,
so it's better to get.
Die slow. There's some deaths that are worse than other deaths. Drowning, burning alive.
You can stay alive.
Drowning in the sea. Right in the middle of the sea. Titanic shit, you be in the sea, there's whales, and imagine the Lord has you go deep in the sea and you still ain't dead yet.
Yeah, you still there just like...
Are you alive? You got some fucking octopuses.
You're still open to it.
The guy with drop it in the armbar. Some fucking sea creatures nesting.
That's terrible.
All this algae and all that's all in there.
Just a fucking octopus.
I mean, what the scripture says, the heart shall meditate terror. So terrors are coming. Fear your heart, Basham Yahushai. End up like we ain't telling you, this ain't no gimmick. This ain't about us broadening our garments and saying, no, this is about fearing the Most High. You don't know what's really going on. We're telling you the Lord's going to bring chaos and destruction more worse than what it is. Everything's fucked up right now. It's going to get worse. You're going to have to fear the Most High. When all that's happening, where we going to be at in them ships?
Yeah.
Safe.
Lord
willing. You know what I'm saying?
Precept.
Go ahead.
2nd Ezra chapter 9 verse 9. Then shall they be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments.
Ooh, torments, man. So if you say, you know what, you forsake the Most High, I don't want to be any of what y'all are talking about. You know what I mean? I ain't keeping no laws. I ain't fasting. I ain't keeping no Sabbath, man. So, I'm doing what I want to do. Free me. Right? So you getting that spirit now. Then what have you done? You basically you cursed yourself, man. Because there's no way out. You know what I'm saying? It's like in the Matrix at the end, you had the engineer program guy. You're the most high. There's no way out. Your own reality, your own existence.
No matter what choice you make, we already know, like.
If you ain't coming through these scriptures, bro, you're doomed, man. This is reality. This is reality, not you create your own reality, and no, all that's BS, man. All these kingdoms, the false gods got overthrown. America's the last leg. America's gonna be destroyed. That's the truth. You seen it? There's no other reality than that. Y'all are wicked, crab-eating demons, right?
You're gonna go out crab eating demons.
You know what I'm saying?
The crab's gonna eat.
Crab's gonna eat you.
Man, that's crazy.
It says
now it's observable as well.
Trying to create your own.
It's become observable to where it's like, oh, it looks like America's cracking. It looks like, oh, the UK's done.
Oh yeah.
It's April next month, man. Bringing in pay, man. That's when all the new tax rules. Tax rules. Lots of businesses saying, look, man, we've been open for like 80 years, but these increases we can't keep up no more. So they're laying off staff. And then couple that with the AI stuff as well. It's like you're already seeing that a lot of jobs are getting ready to go, man.
Councils going bankrupt. NHS is getting cut.
Yeah, the NHS getting cut by Labour is bro.
Wow.
It's a wrap.
Your energy prices going up,
bro.
Disability is getting disallowed. You know what I mean?
Man can't move, he can't talk. They cut his funding. Like, he probably just died. Some of these men would just die.
But they just approved the sister died. So.
Yeah, bro. That's what I was saying. I was like, imagine them men push like, and the way that's been popping off in Canada is a madness. Man say, if you cost a certain amount, they'll say like, look, we can't help you with that, but we can kill you though. Wow, it's fucked.
Wow.
So what we got?
You
know what? Last couple of scriptures.
Verse 10. It says, for such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me.
Yeah, you can't live like that without being punished, all right? You can't live for yourself, you know what I'm saying, and getting Esau's clothes, toys, and all this, and gadgets, and living the nice life without acknowledging the Most High.
It's for him.
Right. You just living like a robot, demon, and you know, it's BS, man. But how does the Lord make you hear it? Through the prophets. So you have, everybody's heard the truth, right? Through the prophets, you know?
Yes. I got precept on that.
Yeah. So your God's system, these idols, all that.
Quick precept, Elder, because you mentioned you hear it through the prophets. Jeremiah 35 and 15. I have also sent unto you all my servants the prophets, rising up early and sending them, saying, return ye now every man from his evil way.
Yeah, so you can't be like, just be evil, breaking every law under the sun, you know, and not acknowledging the Lord without being just, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, right now it's just people talk about ways of life, you know what I'm saying? Anything outside the scriptures is sin. You're breaking, you're committing sin. You're going up.
There's no other way.
There's no other way?
No other way.
The scripture even says that.
Yeah.
You know?
The way, the truth, and the
Right. There's no other way.
You
think there is, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
And then that's where the lockdown shut people. They couldn't believe that the system shut down. They couldn't believe it. They're so programmed. They thought that, like, you're so conditioned, fucking nursery school.
Yeah.
You know, this is just gonna go on forever. Routine. You say anything out the norm, you're crazy. And all this, right? Yeah. People just anything, but now the spooky stuff is becoming reality now. Lockdowns. The government talking about, you know what, we've been UFOs, right? The whole time. Right?
Yeah, the whole country there for decades.
What we've been doing.
You have to slow the curve.
Yeah. So y'all are fucked, man.
I got a quick one.
Yeah, man.
Proverbs 16 and 25. There's a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death.
Yeah, that's straight up.
My way.
That's a beautiful one. So all that do is thou will, alternative reality, living your lifestyle. Hell no,
Yeah, just live your
acknowledge the Most High first, the Creator who created you first. Right, that's the first step. Go ahead.
This is the book of Matthew, the 26th chapter.
Right.
Straight to the point. This is verse 59. Now the chief priests and elders and all the council sought false witness against Yahweh to put him to death, but found none. Though many false witnesses came, yet they found none. And at the last came 2 false witnesses and said, This fellow said, I am able to destroy the temple of Yahweh and to build it in 3 days. And the high priest arose and said unto him, Answerest thou nothing? What is it which these witness against thee? And Yahweh held his peace, and the high priest answered and said unto him, I adjure thee by the living power, that thou tell us whether thou be Mashiach, the anointed, the Son of the Most High. Yahweh said unto him, Thou hast said, nevertheless I say unto you, hereafter you shall see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of the power, and coming in the clouds of heaven. Then the priest rent his clothes, saying, He hath spoken blasphemy. What further need have we of witnesses? Behold, now you have heard his blasphemy. What think ye he? They answered and said, He is guilty of death. Then did they spit in his face and buffeted him, and others smote him with the palms of their hands, saying, Prophesy unto us, thou anointed, who is he that smote thee? I'll skip to verse 70, but he denied before all them. No, something like that. That's pretty much the point, because then it goes into Peter, but I'll brought that out because ultimately they were supposed to be the head priests of Israel, guiding our people into the right way towards basically being restored unto the Lord. All of them would have been supposed to have known the Lord, the Torah, bearing not false witness, and they were basically ultimately a cabal of wicked niggas right at the top of the nation, trying to, even though they knew Yahweh's position, from the fact that they wanted Esau's carnal gains, they wanted to do anything to get him killed.
They wanted to be league with Rome still. And these niggas, man, they want to be in the world still. That's why they bring all these worldly influences into their congregations, man.
Even the high priest knew they were lying, and he turned to Yahweh and said, What, you ain't got nothing to answer against that man was putting on the act?
Alazar knew he was lying the whole fucking time. You know what I mean? All these guys know they're fucking lying. They all know they're fucking lying, man. But they want to come out here and try and pretend like they're fucking righteous and shit. That they're perfect and they got the truth. Man, they ain't got shit.
Yeah,
all the fucking acting, man. Tired of shit, man. Tired of acting.
Exactly.
Priest hit.
He's saying that like you hear.
Proverbs 11 and 21. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished.
Yeah,
but
so pretty much, man. Joining onto the system is not going to stop judgment.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
So spiritually, we're not part of this system. We're in the world. We've got to do what we've got to do. But we're undone. You know what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Spiritually. So hey, with that we're out. So shalom, man.
Shalom,
brothers. Shalom, Akim. You do that.